Okay. There we go. So we don't forget.
I like to give people that option so they have.
That's really nice. Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's the other one.
How many songs are we hearing today, Gypsy?
We have 10.
Oh, nice.
And if we've got time, we'll open the floor for more.
Oh, fantastic. Good. I look forward to the music. See some more of my people. That's fun.
Just make it happen.
Hey, Silva, welcome.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you? Welcome. And Mary's here. Hi, Mary. People I know. Hi, everybody. Ah, here's Kevin. And the man of the hour is here, Kevin Shine. Yay.
Kevin, you're muted. Kevin, you're muted.
All right, here I go. Hey, there we
are.
go, there we go, there we go. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Hello,
Doing
hello.
good.
Hey, I'm sorry about that.
Hello.
I messed up. It's my conference, and I was in the wrong Zoom myself.
That happened on another conference I was on too, so where the owner, the facilitator did that. So it's okay. You're not alone.
I apologize. I apologize. How's everybody doing?
Good, good.
Doing good.
Well, first of all, I just want to say to my panelists, thank you so much for being here. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to this organization.
It is.
What I really want to do is I'm gonna let Michelle help me out a little bit. I want her to help me kind of introduce
Great
who's
question.
in the room.
From Coda, he can hear all day.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't have any bios or anything, Kevin. I wasn't prepared for that. So I think we should just have everybody introduce themselves.
Okay, well, we'll do that. We'll
Yeah.
do that. Well, let's go down the line and we'll let everybody introduce themselves one by one, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, that way they can say what they want
Yeah,
to
I want to
say
hear all the
about
good stuff. I
themselves.
wanna hear
Yeah.
all y'all got to tell all the good stuff, man. Y'all can't don't hold nothing back.
So let's start with Max.
Yeah.
Max, there you are.
Everybody, wait a minute, Max. Could everybody mute themselves, please? If you're not a panelist, please mute yourself.
I took care of it.
Are you ready?
Yeah, go for it, girl.
Okay, cool. So I've been around the block in III, so I started with apparel. And I did the NWA hats for NWA and the Compton t-shirts and the hats and all that stuff. And then I went to ASCAP and I learned all about music publishing and performance rights, and then worked my way over to being a music supervisor for MTV's The Real World. Did that for a few seasons. Then worked on women's daytime drama with Ian Van Zandt, and that was ABC, NBC, and we won a Daytime Emmy Award. Then I did Autism the Musical, which is about children with autism, and that was HBO. We won another Primetime Emmy Award. Then I moved on to being music supervisor for the very first reality show known as MTV's The Real World. I did Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Bad Girls Club on Oxygen, and several other shows. What else? And then I did Chad Loves Michelle on Oprah's Own, the Preachers of LA franchise, Preachers of Atlanta, Fix My Choir on Oxygen, Love and Listings on VH1, Music Moguls on BET, starring Damon Dash, Snoop Dogg, Birdman, Baby from Cash Money, and then the next big thing that was on BET that starred Tina Davis, and she was the manager for Chris Brown, Zaytoven, the hit maker, Damon Dash, and several other heavyweights. And as a producer, as far as a film producer, I won an award called the Telly Award in 2019, and it was a football documentary that's available on Amazon Prime, and it's all about football. And then I'm also a screenwriter, and so my screenplay is available on Netflix and wherever films are sold or DVDs are downloaded, Amazon Prime, and I'm a screenwriter. And I continue to be a music supervisor, and I've co-written with Michelle Weiss-Maslin.
Yes, you're a songwriter as well. Yes, a great songwriter.
So that's about
And
it.
Iris, and you produced Iris, which is one of my favorite things ever. I love that show, that play so much.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Thanks for this opportunity.
Excellent. All right, so Carolyn, do you want to tell everybody about you?
Yeah, my first foray into the music business was the fact that my mother's a choir gospel director and all of that. So growing up, I was in church all the time, being forced to sing and forced to perform at all times of the day and the night. My first job in the music industry. Oh, I'm getting echo of some. If you guys could move that would help me. But yeah, my first job in the music industry was Sony Music. And there I was the ticket coordinator. So I was in charge of all of the tickets for all of the Midwest region. So that was awesome. I've seen a lot of live music. I've also worked for Live Nation. My first job in music licensing was at Entertainment Tonight and The Insider, basically CBS Studios. 12 shows a week, 2 hours a day. A lot of work. I did that for about 11 years, and now I'm at Fox as the music clearance manager, and I have a lot of fun there. Fox Sports, to be exact. There's a Fox Entertainment, but I'm on the sports side, and we have a great time there. So yeah, that's what I do. I do a lot of side projects in digital media, web series, ad campaigns. I've worked with Toyota and Hyundai and basically all of them, Ford, and so I've just done a lot of different kinds of things. And one thing I haven't done is video games. You will hear no feedback from me about video games, and I don't like horror movies, so I'll never do any of that. But that's about it. My mission is to make sure that you guys are being authentic, staying within what you can truly speak to, make sure that the messaging for any story fits what is going on in the music, and that people build relationships and really come into their own in their careers. That's why I'm here today.
Love it. Thank you, Carolyn. Love it. Okay, Rosie.
I think they wanted Drew to go.
Oh, Drew. Okay,
Let's
whoever
get
you
Drew
want
in
to
there.
go.
Let's get
Drew
Drew in
is
there.
great. I was doing ladies first because
Oh,
I
no, no, no.
like
Hey,
chivalry.
hey,
I think chivalry is not
hey.
dead, but Drew,
Hey.
definitely.
What's up, guys? Hey, I'm a co-writer also with Michelle. We have a lot of great history together, and she's just amazing because she's like, relentless in getting things done, and I really take my hat off to her.
Michelle.
Thank you,
She
everybody.
hooked me up with this.
Thank you, Drew.
So I've been in this business for over 33 years. Started out as a session drummer when I was 15 years old, working at Wide Track Studios. I was under the tutelage of Wayne Henderson, the Jazz Crusaders, Quincy Jones, a lot of his crew. So I was able to have like a jazz, R&B, pop background. So it helped me to develop and hear chords, hear melodies. So that helped me a lot. And another fact, I lived in Compton, California from probably 4 to 10 years old. And my first instrument was a flute. Can you imagine playing a flute in Compton? But, It got me over though. It got me over. But let's fast forward. So I ended up from there going to Muscle Shoals, Alabama. I didn't know Muscle Shoals was the recording capital of the world at all. So I met like Jimmy Johnson, Roger Hawkins, David Hood. They took me under their wing. Gary Baker took me under his wing. They wrote "I Swear" for John Michael Montgomery and also for All for One. And from there, I was able to work with the Backstreet Boys, and I annexed over to Nashville. What I would do was take a lot of the country records and make them pop. And that's how a lot of the writers in Nashville got pop writing gigs off of it. And, you know, I learned a big lesson from that. Next time I'll bring my split sheets, you know. But that was like 20 years ago. So, and that's another lesson we all can learn. But fast forward, moved to Atlanta, was able to produce Key Sweat, worked with Speech of Arrested Development, worked with Tion, Lisa Left Eye Lopez. And then I got a call because I worked with a group called B5 back in the day too. And they were signed to Bad Boy. We helped with the acquisition of that and through the artist development. But I got a call off of I-20. You in Atlanta know about it, those in Atlanta. And someone from the Disney camp said, hey, we have a little show coming up. And we want to see if you want to take and produce a song and make it more urban. I said, cool, I'll do it. It's a little show. Ended up being High School Music. So I ended up being a producer on that. That led to Hannah Montana. That led to Disney Mania. So, and then I started to develop a lot of young talent. So Becky G, developed her, developed Julia Michaels, Ross Lynch. And then I started being named the $1 Million Kid Maker because a lot of these kids are making millions of dollars who I've trained. And so now I'm working with Sony Columbia, doing a lot of their production for a lot of their young acts, and also working on TV animation, producer on that, as well as working feature films. So I was able to do that, film supervising also for a movie called Next Level. It has a lot of Gen Z, you know, the social media kids on it. It has over probably 150 million followers, those kids. So I'm like the kid producer, the teen producer. And so that's where I'm at now. And I'm happy to be here. And I hope I didn't talk too long.
Not at all. Not at all. You could talk longer. You've done so much stuff, Drew. So thank you. That was really cool. And now Rosie.
Rosie.
Hey everyone.
Yeah.
I'm Rosie Howe. I'm a music supervisor. I got my start actually as a musician, playing in Chicago, and started doing talent management when I was in college. And then managed a couple of bands from there. One is called Ghost House, who recently reunited. I highly suggest you check them out. And then I moved from that onto just focusing on music business and started supervising when I was in college. And I ended up getting a job at a production company there. And we started a music department. And then I started working for a movies and music festival called SimFest out of Chicago. Cool movies, music festival. You know, we do a whole lineup of films and live shows. And then after I graduated from college, I moved to Los Angeles and started a company there. And I have my own company, Straight Up Music Supervision. I usually do television, films. I do video games. I just did a video game with Timbaland earlier this year. We do trailers, and then I also do product licensing as well.
Really cool. That's so cool about Timbaland. That's very, very cool.
Yeah, that was rad. That was
Yeah,
rad.
that's
Yeah.
really, really
Yeah.
cool. Rockin'.
I worked with other.
Go on. No, tell us more.
Oh, I was gonna say Malcolm Cecil. I worked with him a few months ago on a film project that I'm doing. I've worked with Brian Eno, Alex Kopp from Third Eye Blind. We produced music together. So yeah, like Carolyn, just kind of like a hodgepodge of different things. Yeah.
And we have the incredible one going last.
Ha ha! Thank
Most
you.
incredible.
Aw, you're so kind, Kevin. Yeah, except that the only thing is Kevin hates me because I hate the telephone. And he likes the telephone. Right, Kevin?
Yeah, but you know, but I want to say this to everybody in the room that it's always you know, a very humbling thing when you have someone like Michelle in your life. Because Michelle has the biggest, and when I say the biggest heart, and she really extends herself to you. And I really just, you know, I want to just thank you. And we have to, I have a tradition here. I'm gonna do this just before you even introduce yourself. Here at Writing Sessions America, we always show love to everybody by giving them a unmute, yell, and celebration. So let's unmute and celebrate Michelle real quick, please.
That is so kind. All right. I'm embarrassed. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And thank you for my amazing panelists. They're just such wonderful, not only they're wonderful music supervisors and music creators, but they are nice people. And I only want to have nice people here because as we know, there are some who are not as nice. So I'm really grateful for all of you and your caliber of humanity, which is most important to me. So most people here know me, so I will be as brief as possible. I am a music producer, songwriter, music publisher. I've been at this now 41 years, but I'm still cool, still think I'm young, I'm still cool, sort of. And I write and create all styles of music. Last year, I had the opportunity to music supervise a film, a feature, and I have to give kudos to all the music supervisors here because your job is too hard for me. And that's all I can say. That job is, whoosh, what a hard job, especially when you're green like I was, because I'm used to coming from the creator's end, not from the music supervisor's end. I'm used to giving the songs, not clearing the songs. And everybody, we have to, you know, give appreciation for the music supervisors because their job is super hard and they have to listen to so many songs and oh my God. So that said, I started out as a performance artist. I did really weird stuff that was kind of like Bjork, but even weirder. And then I became an urban songwriter and producer out of the blue because I fell into some projects, and my first cuts from outside of my weird artist projects were with Sam Moore from Sam and Dave, Junior Walker from Junior Walker and the All-Stars, and my first production was with Sam Moore from Sam and Dave in 1990, and that same year I had a huge hit. It was one of the first actual hip-hop songs ever that was with singing and rapping, and the artist was Misha Paris, and Eric B and Rakim rap on it, and I'm sure most people know who they are here. They've just celebrated 30 years in the business, and this was 30 years ago that they did that, so that was pretty exciting for me and very strange considering I was a weird performance artist and it ended up being, you know, a hip-hop R&B songwriter and producer. And so you never know. And now I write all styles of music, even country, even children's music, everything. I developed Kesha, for all of you who know Kesha. I had a hit song with Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys from his solo album called Help Me. I wrote the hit song from Pop Stars, which was a TV show, and the song from Eden's Crush is called, what is my song called? Get Over Yourself. And that song, Billboard has listed as one of the top 100 girl group songs of all time. So that was pretty surreal. And this week, just this week, I had a new release with Jonathan Butler, who's a smooth jazz, soul, R&B artist. And it's called Our Voices Matter. And I'm really excited about this song. It has a beautiful message. Jonathan, for any of you who know his work, is amazing, and he's from South Africa and has been a star since he's 7 years old and basically has supported his entire township in South Africa. And during apartheid, he was the breadwinner for his entire family as he could get around because he was a performer and a star there. And now he's a worldwide star, so that's pretty exciting. And I've had other hit songs and songs on tons of film and TV shows, including a few of Max's, which I'm so excited with, Keeping Up with the Kardashians and The Real World, and what else do we work on, Max? Something else. My brain is stopping.
Bad Girls Club.
Yeah, that's it. Bad Girls Club. Thank you. That Max music suit. and that we wrote a song that was on. That was really, really fun. And I've had songs on Pimp My Ride and The Wayne Brady Show and Kimura and House of Jasmine and What Chili Wants. And I wrote the theme song for Vanessa Williams' TV show, 1-800-MISSING. And I have songs on Queen Latifah's The Perfect Holiday, which will be airing now because it's Christmas time and usually it airs all over the place. And so that's really fun. And all these other people. So basically, I'm the creator. Well, no, that's not true because Rosie and Max are creators and Drew is Drew. So never mind, forget what I was going to say. This is going to be a fun panel. And thanks for having me, Kevin, and allowing me to put together this amazing panel.
Man, I thank you. I thank you. You're incredible. We're going to get into some music, but there's just two questions that I have to ask everyone in the room. And the first question that I have to ask is, what is the worst thing someone has done in terms of trying to get some music to you? What's been one of the worst ways to approach you in terms of getting music to you?
Go, let Carolyn take that because I know she's going to give a panel kind of about that.
I was trying to be quiet. I was like, I'm not.
No, girl, go for it.
You know, it's beautiful that we have online now because people now don't go to such lengths as they did before. There was very easy ways to just privately send a message. But I've had people come to panels and things in person and they wait for you and they like semi-block you from movement. Try to get you to listen to their song right there. Like, I know, like I've been in the business long enough, like when people had walked around with Walkmans and CDs and they would literally like shove it in your face, that has probably been the hardest thing. So if you see me at a panel, you probably know that I literally like tell people to raise their hand if they want to talk to me afterward. I pick those 5 or 7 people or what have you, and we go move somewhere else because I have so much memory about how imposing it can be to physically be blocked from moving about. So that's probably been the worst.
Okay.
That's really amazing. Max, what about you? Oh, I'm sorry, Kevin. Please go for
go ahead,
it.
Go ahead.
You
do that,
it.
do that.
No, you do it.
I had the question. I'll put the question out there. Let's go.
Yeah, go for
Okay,
it.
so for me, it's a clearance issue. So I don't want a song that's not your original composition. You have samples all over the place. I cannot clear it. And then profanity, because most of my shows are not on HBO, and so I need it to be radio friendly and I need to be clearable. So I don't need to hear a dope song with a Roger Troutman track to it and emblazoned with F-bombs and every other word. So that's a no-no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who should we go to next, Shell? Who next? Who's
How
next?
about you?
Me?
So, oh, Kevin, yeah.
No, I'm messing with you, Drew. Go ahead. Go ahead, Drew.
My
Drew.
biggest pet peeve is, and I agree with Max, is that when somebody bring you a song and they give you the pretense of, oh, everything's good and everybody cleared and everything is good. And then you find out, like, okay, one publisher is Sony ATV, another one is, EMI, another one is UMG. And you're like, now it's an act of God to get everything cleared. So I just tell everybody, you got to bring your confessions to Papa Drew right away. Who's on it? Is it cleared? If it's not cleared, I don't care if it's a great song, it's not going to get past me at all. So that's my biggest thing. Just tell the truth in the beginning and just make sure everything is clean up front. Make sure everybody, if they do the signatures, because one thing I hate too is when they give you a song and then you got to wait, it takes an act of God. It takes about 2 or 3 weeks to get cleared. And by that time, the sync is gone. They went on to another song. And, so my biggest thing is come prepared, come ready, or else lose your song. It won't be placed.
Amen. And
Oh, boy,
Rosie.
I like that.
Yeah, I'd say same thing for me, and also metadata. Like I heavily rely on Disco because usually it's me like doing the administrative and taking in this track. So I have everybody send me a Disco link or they upload it through my disco link. But then if they send me just like a WAV file with no title, no artist, no splits, none of that, then I have to go hunting for it. I'm going to pass that over because I quite frankly don't have time to like follow up with you and say, hey, what's this information, blah, blah, blah. So metadata, I'm sure you've heard this before, but it's just so important to just have that set straight across the board. Make sure it's complete and don't be afraid to add notes in there. Like if say you let us know there is a sample in there and it is cleared, or it hasn't been cleared, but it may be easy to clear, you know, communicating those things up front will definitely help you get that placement.
All right. Shell, what's been the experience you've had?
Well, my thing is all of everybody, exactly what they all said, and as well that people send me emails that have no text. They'll send like 20 links, right, Rosie? They'll send like 20 links and it'll say songs, and I don't even know who it's from, right? And they don't tell me anything about me, or else they send an email that says, hey, I'm this, help me. And I'm like, are you kidding? There's no hi, there's no how are you, there's no thank you for your time, there's no I heard you just had a baby, there's no nothing, no pleasantries, and no thank you. People just don't know how to say thank you, right? And it's like the most frustrating thing. So that's the thing that frustrates me the most. And I'm like, why are you sending me these links? And I don't even know you. At least identify yourself, put something in the subject, not just or songs or something. So I would say that has to be my biggest pet peeve. And also that they don't do any research, because if they did any research and they want to pitch me songs for something I'm music supervising, they would know I'm not a music supervisor. So there we go.
All right. So
Michelle is like touching on a lot of things that I'll get into later, much later when I get into how to craft the perfect pitch. I love everything she's saying.
okay, so let's move to the next question. All right. So how did you, when you first got your start, what was it about you that made that person say you're special and you should get this position, or you should be that person? What was that thing that made you the person they say, yes, this is, you're perfect? What did you do to get to that point?
I'm probably gonna be unorthodox and just say I really will say it's God. I'm not the most talented person. I'm not the smartest person. I do feel like I'm smart. I feel like I research things, but I think knowing what you really want and asking for it, that's what this music industry is really about. And if you're shy and you don't know how to ask for help, or you don't know how to give help, you don't know how to give support as an intern, or you don't know how to be other people's fans or do your research, like Michelle said, really look deep into it. You really got to be a fan of this stuff to really show yourself almost approved to be in the room, right? If you're not watching and noticing the music in certain shows, why are you in this business? Like, is it really just about placing your songs, or are you really feeling like, oh my God, did you see the episode of, oh my God, and remember when they did that? And you know what I mean? You really have to have a type of passion about it, and people will notice and people will see, because it's so rare. And I think that most of us are musicians. I sing too, and write songs and all of that. Most of us came into this business because we really loved the music, and it really touched us somewhere way past the money and the position and power and influence. We just really wanted to be a part of stories touching people, and I think that's who represents the industry. Those are the people who stick around. It's really easy to get a job if you know people and you kind of keep asking, but to stay in this business, it's because you really love what you're doing, and you love the fact that music can change people's lives in these stories.
Wow, I love that. All right, what'd you say, Max?
I agree with all of that. I think you have to go over and beyond the call of duty. And for me, okay, this is LA, or it's the United States in its entirety, and songwriters are like a dime a dozen, no disrespect, 6 for a nickel. So they're everywhere. So you have to prove why you're worthy of someone's time. And when I got my job as a music supervisor, it was because I knew they were interviewing tons of music supervisors at for the real world. I mean, it's a big show. And what makes me different? And so I knew at that time I was working at ASCAP, and it was all about compositions and writing and copyrights. And so I used that bit of information, and they gave me, during my interview for the real world, they said, okay, so here's an episode. It's already aired. How would you score this? So you can pick any songs you want from that's known to me and from the Billboard charts or whatever. And we want to see what your sensibility is. Because again, this is the real world, and I look like me. And they need to know that I can do more than. So I watched the episode and so they said, so it's Thursday. Send us an email on Friday. How would you score this episode? So in watching it, I knew, okay, I'm going to put this song, and this is by Scritti Politti, and this is by No Doubt, and this is by, Tears for Fears, and this is Iris by Google Dolls, and so I just knew what I wanted to, I knew what I thought was relevant for each scene and the tone. And instead of doing what they asked me to do, which is just list the songs, I went over and beyond. I was like, I'm going to do the cue sheets. For each song, I'm going to go on ASCAP.com and BMI.com, and I'm going to look to see. Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls is written by, Resnick, and he has 50% of the song. His publishing is EMI, and that's ASCAP. And so I did that for each one of the songs. So when I sent them what they asked of me, which is just the titles in each scene, and so they called me immediately. They're like, when can you start? Can you come? Oh my gosh, no, we've actually asked 12 people to do the same thing, and all everyone else did was give us a list of 10 songs within the body of the email. You send us an Excel spreadsheet attachment with all the slits, and that's what we're hiring you to do. And we say we're hiring you to do it because the job is yours. And the other thing that worked for me was they actually said they were doing Making the Band. And they did that, and it was successful with MTV. And then the second season, they were doing Making the Band with Puffy. It was no longer Making the Band, the first Pop Boys. And Puffy did not have a good time with them because they were exclusively at that time just doing supervisors who just really knew pop. And Puffy was like, this music is corny and I need some grit. And so I also got the job because I happened to know how to manage the paperwork, and my affinity for music was broad, whether it was country or pop or hip hop. And so I think you need to really study the industry. And if you know I'm doing a song and I'm looking for Zydeco music, or I'm doing a show in New Orleans and I need Zydeco music, do not send me gospel and or country and or something that's just not going to fit. So you have to do your homework and let me know that you're taking my job serious, like Michelle said. Don't just send me random track 1, track 2, because my time is important as much as you think your time is important. So don't waste my time. So that's it for me.
Wow, loved it. Okay, like I'm gonna do what Michelle said. I'm coming to you, Rosie, because ladies are supposed to be first. Okay.
Okay, that's great. And I'm sorry, what was the question again?
No, take me back to what got you your, what made you special, what made you stand out, and when you first got your situation, your position.
Gotcha.
That's something.
What got me my first position? Yeah, I think back to Carolyn's point of like having gumption, a lot about the music industry is about entrepreneurship. So with entrepreneurship, you're creating your own opportunities. So I think the first project I ever got was off of Craigslist. I hit up this director who was like, had this post for actors, and I reached out to him and said, hey, I'm blah, blah, blah. This is what I do. This is what I could do for you. I'll take no money. It's my first project. Let's just learn. And we ended up doing 2 TV pilots and a feature together. So I think it's a mixture of gumption, and also I was on a different panel and someone said recently, I was like, they're choosing your creativity. So they're choosing your taste in music, they're choosing your attention to detail, like they're choosing, those parts of you that make you the professional that you are. So I think a big part of it too is just like tapping into that. What are you good at? What do you need improvement on? Who can you bring in to, help fill in those gaps? So self-awareness goes into it too. Yeah.
Okay, Michelle, I'm coming to you, then I'm going to Drew.
There we go. Yeah, so again, I agree with everything that's been said for sure. I think for me, I'm still pounding the pavement. I don't think it's gotten that much easier. No, I don't think so. I think for me, it's tenacity. It's just been endless tenacity, just not giving up. I think I get rejected more than any human on the planet. I pitch songs like 11 hours a day, and I just get rejected and rejected and rejected all day, sometimes very meanly. So I just think that I've really been tenacious, and I've gone out there and I've been tried to be a nice person and a good person and present what I present in a happy, positive way. And it has, and writing a nice letter, which Carolyn's going to discuss on her seminar. I've learned how to do that, but for me, I don't know, it's just not gotten easier. So I think I have to. My first placements were because I was in the right place at the right time. So let's say it has to do sometimes a lot with that. I've fallen into a lot of cool stuff, and I've paid attention, like we're talking about paying attention. I've paid attention to the opportunity that's presented itself and jumped on it and said yes. There have been many times when I wasn't right for the job, and I grabbed a co-writer, a friend. There's been many times when I had no clue how to do that, but I just said yes and figured it out. And I think we have to pay attention to everything, like make friends, make connections, because my big break was working with Nile Rodgers, and that came about because he wanted to date my sister, and he was after my sister, and she said to him, if you help my sister, I'll go out with you. And Nile invited me to New York, and I spent 3 years. I'm from New York, but I went back to New York from LA and spent 3 years off and on with him, and shadowed him and learned everything. And so I paid attention, I was paying attention to the opportunity, and I didn't go, oh, that's never going to happen. No, I jumped on an airplane. So I'd say that's something that we should all do, is pay attention to opportunities and be polite and seize them.
And I guess you sound like you were at that tenacity. I think you also being prepared, Michelle, because you're always prepared. You're always preparing yourself, getting yourself prepared for the next moment. I think it's not just your tenacity. I think your preparation is so impeccable. And I think you're already ready for the opportunity to happen, even if those because I was going to, you took away my next question, Michelle. I was going to talk about the next thing I was going to talk about was disappointment, but I'm going to go to Drew first, and then I'm going to figure this thing out, but I got another question.
So how can I go after these beautiful leading ladies? What can I possibly say? No, but I love it. So the thing about me is that I'm hungrier than the person asking me, and they see that. And so I'm able to ascertain that and to say, okay, and then I go a step further. I'm like, okay, well, I have a studio of my own here in LA, a couple of them, and I'm gonna score the film to you while you're there, while I'm supervising. So I take it upon myself to take and assume other positions because I'm already in it already. So in addition to supervising, I'm scoring, and then I have a relationship with a lot of the artists that I'm working with. So I'm able to place my own music in there and also giving artists a start. You look at Snoop, how he started off of the Deep Cover soundtrack. A lot of artists made it off of soundtracks and off of syncs, the music supervisors. So I use that as an annexation to bring others in there. So when somebody asked me something, and from my start, I was hungrier than they were, I was humbler than they were, and I saw I'm going to be there one day. And that's great because now I'm also producing films, and guess who supervises it? Yours truly.
Wow.
So I'm able to trickle it all down within the same filtration of who I'm working with. And now that I'm producing, I can use it, the annexation, producing the film, supervising the film, scoring the film, and just working out. Now you can create your own energy around you, build your own artist, build your own team, and now you have a formidable infrastructure that cannot be beat.
Okay, so we're gonna start with you this time, Drew. And
Huh?
I was gonna do that but Michelle got a good answer. She gave us a great answer with the disappointment thing.
Gotcha.
Because I think the disappointment thing is so important because a lot of times in this business, I don't see people, especially with COVID going on right now. A lot of people are like getting disappointed and they're not figuring this thing out and they're getting stumped automatically. So I'm gonna frame the question like this.
Sure.
What would you tell a younger you about how to overcome the obstacles that you went through to become better at their craft? What would you tell a younger you?
Well, I will tell a younger Drew, a lot of no's make that big yes later on because that one closed door can easily be opened again. Also, I would tell a younger me to don't get your feelings hurt. It's just business at the end of the day. If they say no, well, forget about it. Go to the next door. I also tell a younger me to build a catalog of songs, and really be organized with that. And also, a younger me, I would tell, hey, get a group of writers along with you. Start a publishing company separately that deals with just film. I would tell a younger me too to learn how to score earlier because I feel like if I learned how to score earlier, I could have been in that Hans Zimmer, John Williams type. I do it now, but that younger me would allow me to tell someone to learn everything you can about film supervision, music supervision, because really, when you're a film supervisor, that music is actually an actor in that movie. So I would tell them, don't treat this song as a song, treat this song as an actor that's going to work along with Denzel, that's going to work along with Chris Pratt. So I would tell that younger, I would just take a younger me, sit him down like for 2 or 3 days, and he would have to listen to what I have to say about that because, if we don't have that time machine, unfortunately, but we can also spring forward and to really realize where we are now. And we can also mentor younger people that we could call younger me's.
I love that. Thank you. Oh, Drew, look at you, Drew. I think you took it personal, Drew. You came with it.
I did.
Follow behind that. Okay. We're gonna go to Rosie next. Rosie, what would you tell a younger you, Rosie, about overcoming obstacles and all that?
I would definitely tell my younger self to be more confident in my abilities. I definitely feel like I've held myself back in the past because I wasn't confident enough. I'd also say take care of myself better. I don't know about anyone else, but definitely this year I've learned self-care. And I look back and there's a lot of late nights, there's a lot of smoking weed, like there's a lot of not taking care of myself. I mean, it's true. There was, I was in college, I was in the music industry, like, we like to party, that's how we do deals and things like that. And I think now being older, and I've been in the music industry for about 10 years, like, if I could go back and really focus on eating healthy and working out regularly, taking care of yourself. I mean, you are your art, you know, you're the one producing the art. So if you don't take care of yourself, you're not gonna, you know, there's gonna be no longevity for you in the business. And also we see a lot of our fellow musicians struggling with drug issues and, you know, what have you, mental health issues. So really taking care of yourself is important. And I would have told my younger self that, absolutely.
All right, I like that. Thank you, Rosie. I'm coming to you, Carolyn.
All right. Where do I start? Okay, ask me the question again so I can come up with something nice.
What would you tell a younger you to help you overcome the obstacles that you come through over time?
Like, I don't want to be difficult, but honestly, like, I don't want to stumble or make her think that anything she did, you know, my younger self, anything she did actually prevented her from anything. I think I needed to learn every lesson,
right.
And I needed to go through every disappointment that I did. And so honestly, if I could be that voice, I would just say, you're going to be fine. Like, you're going to have so much fun, and all of this stuff really is not that big of a deal, you know? So I don't know. I guess the thing I would say is just, you know, go ahead and cry, let it out. But, you know, tomorrow's another day, and you'll be fine. But I definitely wouldn't want to prevent myself from going through any of the headaches that I went through. I've quit jobs like day of. I won't name the company, but man, especially in this industry, but I can only speak for this industry because I've only been in the music industry. But I mean, these personalities and these, you would think that they are curing cancer, you know? And it's like, we're doing make-believe, and we're putting our creative juices into the make-believe story. Like, why is everybody screaming? But I've had those moments where people raise their voice and they're disrespectful, and I just didn't grow up that way. And so I've had to quit jobs day of. And what was the result of that? A whole bunch of consequences that weren't so pleasant. But you have to keep your conviction about yourself, so that, like Rosie talked about, the confidence of just knowing I'm going to be okay. I'm not going to compromise who I am as a person or allow someone to see me less than I see myself or less than God sees me. And so this decision may hurt, okay? It may cause some pain for me afterward, but the conviction will get me through, and it'll make me that much more stronger and confident when I get to the next level. It also teaches you to have respect for people coming up. Most of us music supervisors, no matter how wrong and bad you guys sound, we know stories of people who's pitched us songs that sounded horrible. They went back, they worked on their craft, they got business people involved, they, you know, found the right representation, and then they pitch you 2 or 3 years later, and you're like, wow. You know what I mean? And so we had to learn that kind of get up, you know, dust yourself off and keep learning, keep growing, and all of that. And so you have to go through all of that to really become who you are. So don't try to, like, you know, prevent yourself from going through those hard times. Just remind yourself that it's going to be okay. And yeah, it may hurt, but I'll get up and things will be fine the next day.
Great answer. Great answer. Okay, we're coming to you, Max.
I would tell my younger self to be intuitive and capitalize opportunities. And perhaps maybe I'm at this event as a waitress, which didn't happen. But if I happen to be somewhere where there are affluent people, powerful people in the room with me, and my initial thinking was, I'm here tonight for this, in this capacity, I keep my ear open to see what I can learn and how I can get in where I can fit in, and just be open to other opportunities other than the one that I initially thought defined me or put me in a box. I'd be open to explore how else can I participate, and what can I learn in this position that can get me to the next level.
That was great. I think that's important, Max, because it just seems like everybody has CEO-itis. Like they come in the game and they automatically got to be the CEO of the company, and they get this word independent in their mouth, and they just go, "I'm independent. I'm the CEO," and that's cool to be you're independent, but you're not independent because you're just independent. You're still looking to create relationships. You're still looking to create partnerships. You're still looking to expand your brand, to grow your brand. So don't just fall in love with being an independent. Fall in love with understanding why you're independent and how you can grow yourself to be a bigger independent or a bigger entity or whatever. But and so what you just said is so important, and so I definitely thank you for that comment. Okay, I'm coming to the lady, and then we're gonna get into some music. Shell, talk to the younger you. What you got to say?
Oh God, I am the younger you. I try to be the younger you all day. That's part of my problem, is I'm always still falling over myself. I don't know what I would tell the younger you, because I'm kind of like what some of them have said. Carolyn especially hit on it. I don't want to change stuff. It's made me who I am. And I've spent 41 years in the music business, in the school of hard knocks, where we didn't have any of this to help us. So I love what my younger previous me, because I'm able to mentor other people and help them avoid so many pitfalls that I've fallen into. And so I would just tell my younger me, you did okay. You suffered a lot, but it wasn't a bad thing. My father always said that suffering wasn't bad. Some people just suffer. And so, us creatives, we're suffering a lot, so maybe I would tell my younger self not to be so serious, but my older self is serious too. So I haven't learned anything. I haven't really changed that much. I'm a super serious person who's working endlessly and trying to help others too. So yeah, I don't know. That's all I can say. I would just tell her, you did okay. You worked hard, and it's gotten you somewhere. So if the end justifies the means, it was okay.
Wow, that's incredible. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of welcome you guys again, because in this opportunity, we kind of have this whole organization. Writing Sessions America is a collaborative effort of creatives and business people. And what we do is we teach our creatives, you're an entrepreneur first. And then, because sometimes we have to take the artist thing away. Why do we have to take it away? Because we have to teach people that you are financing your dream in the beginning. You are financing. So don't go hide behind the artist thing. Like everybody want to hide behind being an artist. Oh, I'm an artist, I'm a producer, I'm a songwriter. That don't mean that you aren't the entrepreneur. You're not the person who have to invest in yourself. You're not the person who have to go through the pitfalls. All the things that it takes to be a business, you have to go through those things. You have to learn what those things are, because you're building your character, you're building yourself, you're building the strength that's going to provide you greatness. So this year, what we were really, we're going to be doing is really just focusing a lot more. We've been cataloging. I was so glad that Drew said that in his statement over there with the cataloging. We've been cataloging forever, Drew. I think my people hate me that I make them catalog so much. They're like, Kevin, when are we going to stop cataloging? We're going to make some dang records. We're going to get them placed. So I had to invite all you people in the room because they got tired of cataloging. So we're going to let y'all hear some of the catalog from what we've been creating around here with Writing Sessions America. My only question to the room is, I'm going to be playing, 2 verses in the hook, just to give you a good vibe of the song. If you find that you want, something specific you want to hear, you want to make a comment, let me know, and we'll just kind of get through this, okay? But I just, I'm so glad you guys are here, and you get a chance to hear some of this great music that we've been making. And anybody that's in here, Writing Sessions America is for you, because we're really an organization. We're a family. We function like a family. We even though it's business, it's family business. And that's one of the things that we pride ourselves on. But I'm really excited about my organization. Even just to let you guys know, this year I'm conducting the Icon Awards. And we are an Icon Awards, people who have done something in the community and something in the industry. Well, I'm proud to say that 9 of the Icon Awards that I have this year are all people who were part of Writing Sessions America, who have now went on to either get Grammys, Image Awards, or better. And so I want to show people that you can be great if you just persevere, be part of a program, do all the things you guys just said, and that's why I wanted you to address those things. So we're going to start this thing out. I'm going to see if, you know, because some of our people could make it and some of them couldn't make it to this room tonight, but I'm going to see if they're here. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to call their name just to see if they're in the room, and if they're not in the room, then we're going to go ahead and continue on and let this thing, you know, and let you guys see what records we got here. Okay. So the first record I want to do is is a record called is it Trivia in the Room? Because I know that is Trivia, you're in the room?
Yes, hello everybody.
Okay, so Trivia, we're gonna do O first.
Okay.
So you want to give them a little talk about O, pitch, you know, tell them what O is about.
Sure. I am Trivia, entrepreneur and WSA co-leader of the Southern region, currently in Atlanta. And I want to just thank you all for your time. O is about a crush confessing the sweetness that they have on the crushie while expressing exactly how they feel. So here's O.
Okay. And I do want to say to my panel, this year we did an exercise, but we were actually working with a K-pop company. And so they had us working on records that was supposed to be for K-pop. So this is kind of what spawned, what birthed this record to even exist. So here we go.
Let's go! Yo, she know that I got the code. She don't wanna be alone. She don't wanna take it slow. Now she got me in my mode. She know that I got the code. She don't wanna be alone. She don't wanna take it slow. Now she got me in my mode. Walking down the street by myself, I seen her look my way. Oh my gosh, she's pretty. I really wanna know her name.
I wondered where she's going. She looked beauty years old. She's the type of girl that shouldn't be alone. And I wanna take your number down and show you all around the town and say, baby, I want you now. And just tell me if this possible, because I really wanna know. With you, I lose control and feel like you make me sad. You make me sad. You make me sad. You make me sad. Lost in Candyland, I found your trail. Come and find me, girl. I need your help.
Never gonna let go. I just wanna lay low with you. Slide down your rainbow. Make me say come song. Need I think I'm falling in love. I don't wanna do too much. I'll be addicted to you. You'll be my candy crush. So,
I wanna take your number down and show you all around the town and say, baby, I want you now. And just tell me if this possible, because I really wanna know. With you, I lose control and feel like you make me sad. You make me sad. You make me
Okay. Oh. So, all right. Michelle, I'm gonna start with you. Because you're a creative person. I'm gonna go to my after you. I want to just see what the creative person gonna say.
All right, Trivia, I loved that. I thought that was great. I loved so many things about it. Of course, the O's are so super hooky. It's like this pop, hip hop kind of crossover jam, and I just loved it. The song made me so happy. I'm so smiling. Look at me. It's recorded really well. The vocals, the instruments are tuned and timed, and I'm just loving it. I would say if I were pitching it, I would have a small amount of difficulty for sync because of the subject matter. If the song were, oh, life is fabulous, life is good, and it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, it'd be easier to pitch because it wouldn't be a relationship song. But that said, I think that the fact that the lyric is clean and it's positive and up tempo, it would be useful for so much sync, and totally could be pitched to K-pop and J-pop acts in Japan and in America too, for artist cuts. So I just thought you did an amazing job and I loved it.
Thank you so much.
All right. I'm going to Carolyn next.
Hey, so I just want to mirror everything that Michelle is saying. I know you guys want feedback in terms of improving it. And so my thought is that slower part of the song, can you tell me those lyrics, that slower part of the song? Tell me again. So at the top, there was a number of verses rapping, but then there's a slow section. She got me
The
again.
Lost in Candyland part.
Lost
So
in
that,
yeah. Oh, sorry.
that would have been a great way to start the song. It, like some kind of really cool instrumental, interlude, and then that it sets the scene. It says, "This is how I'm feeling," right? Because that's the point of most of what we're syncing, right? In any story, we're trying to set the stage of how this character is feeling. So that would have been a great start. Just that transition of slow easing in. This is how this girl has me feeling. And then the rap can come in, and then the verses can come in, and everything to continue to carry that forward. But I feel like that was a moment in the song that could have really made a supervisor say, "Oh, wait, I know exactly who I can do this with," right? So it's still the same song, same lyrics, everything, but that was the moment. And just in general for everyone, that's your moment. That's what you're trying to sell. We don't listen to the whole song most of the time, if we're honest. So we may not get to that bridge. And that's just the truth. But if you started with something that really sets a line in the sand for a character or for a story or for a moment in time, that helps us at least put it in a playlist like Love Story, Happy Love, Candyland. You know what I mean? Then you're at least in our playlist of really poppy songs that we need for whatever that scene is we haven't been told about, but we want to be prepared when we get asked.
Thank you.
All right, Andrew. You got to unmute, Andrew.
I know, I always, it's a little mute thing on it. But hey, Trivy, first of all, love your name. Look, I got to tell you, you remind me of Lauryn Hill. You probably heard that a lot, right? So you know it's greatness there already. But really appreciated the song, how it came through, guitar. It really woke you up. It's like whenever you have a guitar in the beginning of the song, it screams anthem, So that was really good. Now, some of the points I would really consider is that really make that intro a lot shorter, because you only have about 5 to 10 seconds to get in somebody's ear. And if it's too long, they're gonna be like, next, And so really shorten that intro. And also I felt like the chorus, like Michelle said, it was recorded very, very well. Sonically, it was there. It syncs up very well. And by the way, what's the BPM of that song?
I don't think she got that part down.
Okay, so that's my next point. Always know the key of the song, the BPM of the song, because that's very important. Because if it's a temp that's 105 BPMs or 100 BPMs, they want a similar temp in there to put the BPMs. So know your BPMs, know the key of the song. It's very important to do. Also, I felt like the hook was it was huge, but it'll be better to even have that hook mixed up even louder. Oh, so it feels like an anthem in there. Like when you heard the Black Eyed Peas song, I Gotta Feel, it's just like that hook just roars out at you. And so make that hook really big, because you have an anthem song on your hand. And also, as far as the second verse, what I would do is when it got to the second verse, it slowed down the song tremendously. When you get to that second verse, you gotta like just rev it up a little bit more, maybe shorten 4 bars out of it so you can get right to that pre-chorus. So, but loved it. Those are just a few little, constructive points that I would consider in that, but really loved it, and really thank you, Trivy.
Oh, come on, Max.
Great job, Trivy. So I echo everything that the other supervisors said. It's a great song. If I were looking for a song by like BTS, but it wasn't in the budget, I'd say, oh, I know where I can go, and I would call you in a heartbeat. because it's definitely marketable and something that I could place. But I would say that it did lag a bit. I don't know how many bars the intro was. It felt like it was 16 and kind of like tapping my toe. But I really want it to just bang a little bit harder in the beginning. So what Carolyn said, so rearrange the entry of the song so that I don't press skip and listen to the next song, or go on to someone else's submission because you didn't hook me. I mean, they call it a hook for a reason, because you want to hook the listener from the onset, not if they just get lost in transition of, oh yeah, it's okay, it's good, oh, now it picks up. You might not have that opportunity for me to get to the hook if you lag in the beginning. So that's it for me. Thank you.
All right. Coming to you, Rosie.
All right. Yeah, I will say one thing. When I was listening to it, I was kind of seeing a montage in my head. So I'd maybe try to take the track and if you have like iMovie or something, put it to a picture and kind of see how it feels in the picture, and then kind of go from there. I think that might be a good approach to, also revisiting the structure of the song. But I think that's a good practice to get into, having your songs play against pictures so you can see what the music supervisor is seeing, because ultimately that's what's important, is how it's going to feel in the picture.
All right. Thank you, Chivy. You got any? You good?
I just want to say thanks.
Quickly, trivia, stock footage. Look for video stock footage. There's a lot of free stock footage. So what Rosie is telling you to do is great, but you may think you got to go find some footage elsewhere. You can use the stock footage search to help you inform and organize your songs. So if you're looking for a couple, you can say, all my couple songs I'm going to put to this little video or whatever. And it helps you do what we're trying to do too. So that.
Yeah, I just want to say one more thing too. Just like what Carolyn said, you know how in movies they'll put like a temp track. They might put like Max said, a BTS track in, and they might put a J. Cole, if it's a clean version, that is. I hear you, Max. But you might do that. So reverse that. I like what Carolyn said. Reverse that. Find a video clip that you're looking for and tip the video clip into your music, and that way you could see it's going to dictate what you're going to put in there music-wise as well.
All right, we're gonna move on because we got some more stuff, more goodies for you guys. So thank you, Chirby. We appreciate you. Is Sam in the room? Sam, you're in the room?
Hi, sir.
Okay,
hey,
Sam stepped up to the plate. The next record you guys are gonna hear from Sam is called Bum Bum.
Let me just turn my camera on.
Go ahead, Sam. Tell them about the record.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sam, and I made Bum Bum. So basically, this day I was sitting trying to sound design, sort of, because I'm not really great at that, and found two sine plugs, and I made one bass, made one clear at the top, and because I'm from South Africa, I kind of just threw on some African drums on it to create a vibe, and pretty much that was just one of those special moments where it wrote itself. Yeah, and it really, people enjoyed it more than I thought they would, so I'm stoked to be here, and I really hope you like it.
I put the pieces back together, bet that you never thought I would. Threw away all your letters, time makes things better, it do. And now I'm dancing, it feels good, I knew I could, I'm over you. I'm not mad at you, no, had to let go, for the sake of my soul. And it go bam 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 ba-dam, 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 bam 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 ba-dam. And it bam 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 ba-dam, bam 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 ba-dam, bam 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 ba-dam. me more than before. But you could have loved me, but you made me so insecure. Oh, and now I'm dancing, it feels good. I knew I could, I'm over you. I'm not mad at you, no, no, no. Had to let go for the sake of my soul. And it go bam, 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 ba-dam. Bam, 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 ba-dam. Bam, 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 ba-dam. And it go bam, 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 ba-dam. Bam, 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 ba-dam.
All right. We're gonna go to Max first.
So I like the fact that it's original and it gives me a worldview by virtue of the fact that I can appreciate your accent. That you get like a whole bunch of cool points, but then I'm listening sonically and it almost makes me want to ask you, which I will, are those your scratch vocals? Because it feels as though it's a bit pitchy, and so I would like to hear a different vocalist cover that song. That's my honest opinion. But it sounds as though it has potential, but it's not yet ready.
Okay.
Thank you, Max.
All right, let's go to Rosie next.
I absolutely love this track, and it's something that I honestly would probably listen to over and over again. So I played drums, so I have a drum background, so you're always going to get me with the drum intro, especially the intro that's like, you know, you got the hand drums going and it's quiet, but you still hear it. I love that. One thing I would suggest though is maybe making like a remix version. I like this version. I think it would work for certain scenes. I don't know, romantic scenes or someone having like an introspective moment. You know, walking somewhere. You know, you get the sunset. I don't know, something like that. But also, I feel like I need it to like bang at some point. Like I need the energy to change at a certain point. So I think maybe kind of playing around with a couple different versions of it, you know, you might be able to find something that it would fit in perfectly with.
Okay. Carolyn.
Yeah, I agree with everything that has been said, and I would just add that it definitely needs to do a little better job of telling a story. So to me, both of the choruses do the same thing. There's not an additional harmony. There's not an additional instrument to tell me this is getting more intense, you know? And so there's definitely some movements that need to be added. I know a lot of us as songwriters are just in the mode of verse, chorus, but you're still telling a story, and I still need to feel like I'm at a theme park, you know? So I might start and it's building up, and then I drop, and then it comes back up, and you know what I mean? So even if you kept the same song structure, you need to add more ingredients, if you will, as you go along, so that we can feel the intensity of what's going on. And that, like I said, that can be by adding harmonies, that could be by adding more ad-libs towards the end, that could be by intensifying, like Rosie said, intensifying, you know, just making it beat harder, you know, bringing in a harder bass, more drums, something like that. So I just needed it to go somewhere, and I felt like where we started, that's where we ended up, but you never want to do that. You want to feel like you took the viewer somewhere.
Okay, we're going now to Drew.
What's up, Sam? How you doing, man?
Hey, Drew.
Oh,
sorry
good,
about that.
good. Oh, no problem. Hey, first of all, you know, I love those rhythms in there, like the hand drums, the kalimba, you know, those different rhythms in there. And it really woke us up as far as what's going to happen. So the first thing I want to admonish you is never to say, I'm not great at that at all, because you just defeated. And so in a pitch, you'll be like, okay, if you don't feel that great about it, well, why do you expect me to do so? So really come in there with a little more confidence, even in your pitch, even if you have things to work on with. So, and I agree with Max. You know, this has like, maybe you could, if you have like more of a Drake feel on the vocal, you know, if you have more of a popcorn feel on the vocal, it could work, you know. And don't be too afraid to use somebody else on that vocal, because you're really trying to sell the pitch. You're really trying to sell the song, sell the sync. You don't care how it gets there, you know. And so that's when we put all the egos aside and get the demo singers. They love doing that, and they'll elevate your song. Another thing too, in concurring with my colleagues, put some transitions in. Oh, the chorus is getting ready to come and put a riser in there. And when that riser comes in, maybe you put like a real mute. And when that mute comes in, then pound the chorus in your face and maybe add some more instruments into it. Maybe since it's a world vibe, there's great sounds on Omnisphere, those voices that could just really build it up a little more cinematically in there. And maybe in a portion of the song, just to throw people off, half tempo in it, you know, maybe put a trap part in it, you know, and that way it just breaks it down in there and it makes people, oh, this is coming, this is coming. And also make something a little more interesting on what the subject matter is. Well, what does bum bum mean? Even if you have to make it up, you know, like Selena had a great song called Bitty Bitty Bum Bum, and if they ask what does it mean, a lot of my Spanish clients say, I don't know, it just sounds good. But it sounded like Selena was going somewhere with it. So what I'm saying is that if it's a cliche song like that, make the lyrics feel like it's going somewhere. Because really, a song is a journey. And if you don't want anybody to get off on that interstate, on an off-ramp, stay on the road, okay? So I appreciate what you did and love the track where it's going, but just, you know, just wanted to give you that, okay, brother?
All right, we're coming to the big lady, Michelle.
Yes, sir. Hello. Hey, Sam. That was really nice. I really enjoyed it. Now, I do agree pretty much with what everyone is saying here, and some other things too. Like, I love the bump bumps. I mean, people love that. It's so hooky, just like the Bitty Bitty song, you know, Drew's talking about, and Boot Up. It reminded me a lot of Boot Up, which someone I mentored wrote, and I love that. I feel like Trivia's song, the intro was a hair too long. I would half it. I don't think it was necessary because it wasn't like there was something amazing going on in there. The song is a little slow for me. I do like the melody, but the song is a little slow for me, especially, but it's bum bum. I wanted to move. So I, you know, I was a little dragging from that. I felt that, like everybody said, the vocals are pitchy, but I feel you can sing it, but I feel like you need either a producer, someone to produce you, right? Like me or Drew or someone who's a producer who knows how to get the performance out of the artist, or you need to hire a singer. Either way, but I do feel that if you were better produced, you would have been fine on the vocal. And if you were pitched, because, you know, we have technology and we are hand pitching our vocals, if you got in there and you did tune your vocals, you'd be doing yourself a better service. As for the track production, I agree with everyone, and I feel it needs ketchup and mustard, what I call ketchup and mustard, ear candy. Like everyone's saying, the song should take us on a journey and go somewhere, but it's all the same all the way through. The instrumentation doesn't change, nothing gets added. There are no extra, you know, keyboard parts and no extra drum fill parts, and nothing stops, like Drew said, and there's no psh, here's the chorus. So I totally agree that the production needs work. And I also feel that the lyric needs work, because I love the bump bumps. They're awesome. But the rest of the lyric for me is too generic. And as I have so many students of my class in this class today, and they'll all tell you, I'm a real stickler on lyrics. I need to hear something that's never been said before, something that's not cliche, something that's fresh. So even in a pop song, even in a hip hop song, especially in a rap song, I mean, listen to the rap. Rap is amazing. What the rappers say, oh my God, you know, they're just pulling words from everywhere. And so that's what I feel would be optimum here to make it even better, because I would work on this song because the hook is so cool that you don't want to not just throw it away. I mean, you really want to work on it. But I'm also a little concerned about the samples that you mentioned when you started the track. So can you just come on, Mike, and say, where did you get those samples that you used?
The only samples was a guitar, sort of a whine sound from Splice, and the drums, basically.
Okay, so there's a big risk in using samples like from Splice, and Max touched on that about clearance earlier. I mentor everyone, don't use Splice. Don't use those samples. Create your own sounds. If you like something, get somebody you can hire to replay it. Don't use those samples because the clearance issues are a problem. And if you read their licenses, you have to pay a lot of money to ever be able to own something exclusively. And if you send our lovely music supervisors here that song and 17 other people sent them that same loop, that is not good, not optimum. And there are legal reasons. There are all kinds of reasons not to use samples. And just like Max was talking about, she can't clear those. You know, they can't be in your songs, especially for sync. So, you know, everybody can say, well, the paperwork, I've been going over paperwork the last 2 days from my class, and I'm in looking at paperwork that's like, oh my goodness, you know, this is not optimum, not good. So that's just my little thoughts right there. But I think it's a great start, and it's a really cool, going to be a really cool song.
Okay, so.
Can I chime in about the samples real quick?
Yeah.
Is that okay? I mean, I think there has to be a point where people need to be responsible for clearing samples. Go ahead and use samples for sure, but make sure you're clearing them properly. Like, don't come to me with uncleared samples and you're pitching a track. Like, just don't do that. And you can go to an attorney, get a simple like sample contract that they can draft up. And this goes back to investing in yourself as a business. You need certain documentation in order to run your business, and sample, if you're going to be using samples in your music, that's something you should have on hand. But yeah, definitely we've turned away tracks for people who haven't cleared their samples. So I say go ahead and definitely have samples in them. You know, sometimes tracks need that, but yeah, just make sure they're cleared properly.
Okay.
Right, and I so agree with you, Rosie, but I'm just going to add, the problem is these are not like samples of other artists. These are like from Splice. And that is really, really using those is a real mess. I was even talking to the head of clearance at Warner Chappell last week, and he was like, they don't allow their writers to use Splice samples over there.
Yeah,
so,
right.
so,
I think you can get away with using it in distribution, but I would say for
exactly.
sync, in distribution you can, but just speaking on distribution, make sure you keep the licenses on hand and also keep a link to any beats or samples that you use so that you can present that information all together. But yeah, for sync, I definitely wouldn't be using, I 100% agree with you, Mitch. I would not be using Splice, but if you have to use Splice, make sure you're keeping track of those links and documentation as well.
Yeah, and change the key and chop them all up and put them back together again so that we can't tell.
I gotta segue in.
Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
Sam. We got to get some other ones
so
in
much.
here. So
Really
we got
appreciate it.
we're gonna do one verse this time, and then we want to get at least 3 or 4 more in. Miss Tanya, are you here?
I am here.
Okay. So we getting ready to do Miss Tanya. She has a record called Uh-Oh.
Uh-Oh is a song that is written about a young lady who basically has been friends with a guy all her life. They grew up in the neighborhood, and then all of a sudden she sees him. It's in a different light. He has a sparkle in his eye all of a sudden.
Here we go.
It's just a day at the mall, hanging out, catching up like we always used to do. I didn't think at all I would ever feel what I just felt for you. Suddenly there's a spark in your eye that I never seen before. Sunbeam round your head lights up the sky.
Go, Rosie.
Hello, thank you. I'm trying to think. I really like the tune. I love the lyrics. I'm thinking maybe we need to switch out the vocals. I'm feeling this isn't the right voice for this track. I feel like there's actually an opportunity here to kind of mix genres a little bit, like maybe put like some rock vocals over the track. I think that might be interesting. But yeah, I really, really like the lyrical content. I think it's a fun song for sure.
Andrew.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing, Tanya?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, good. First of all, thank you for being with us. Yeah, you know, it's a fine line between what sounds great in a theater type of sync and an indie sync. When I hear this song, I think totally like indie. You know, I think of even like strange syncs, like, you know, even in a sync from Stranger Things or a movie on Netflix, or if you see something on Black Wall or something like that. So I really feel like the voice sounds really good for an indie or an off the wall kind of a film, you know? Like, let me give you another one. Like if it was like a Napoleon Dynamite kind of, you know, then it fits within the character of that, you know? So I feel like it fits good in an indie or kind of an off the wall left field kind of a TV movie sync. One thing I would do is that I was really disappointed in the beginning of the hook because the rest of the song on the hook, the was lower than that. So if that's the name of the song, punch it out. You know what I mean? Bring it out. If that's the name of the song, can you imagine a Queen song saying you? And you don't hear we will. You know, so what I'm saying is that every part of the component of the song is so important. So I would bring the hook up a little more. Also, the drum seems very linear in it. So I would, when that chorus and that pre come in, I would let everybody know that that train is coming and do a build. And when that, you know, even put some John Bonham drums on it. Do whatever you can to make that hook so big that everybody recognizes that it's the hook and make the lyric feel the intensity of it. But thank you so much, Tanya.
Okay, thank
Michelle.
Unmute. Okay, so I agree with everything that Drew said, and I'm going to say that I love that it was a tempo. It was super great tempo. I love the melody. It's super cool, and it made me want to hear more of the song very much. I love the uh-ohs. They're super, super hooky. I love the concept of the song. It's super happy. I agree with what Rosie said about the vocalist. I think it needs a different vocalist, a younger sounding vocalist. So I hear it more of a pop kind of Katy Perry-ish kind of vocal maybe, but you know, a little more youthful, a little more pop. And lyrically, I loved It's Just a Day at the Mall. That first line is so killer as an opening line, but then after that, I have to say I was a little disappointed because it was very generic after that. Like you had this super cool image. I want to know it's just a day at the mall and I was holding an ice cream and I had my purse was full of stuff I bought and I want to hear some detail in that. You set your whole song up with an image. I mean, you made it easy for yourself, but then you didn't give me any imagery. You just kind of were very generic. So that's what I would suggest. And I agree with Drew saying that it needs more ear candy and ketchup and mustard. And of course, we didn't hear more of the song. So don't forget as the song goes along to keep adding more of that. But it's super cool.
Carolyn.
Thank you.
I would just quickly say what Drew said. Like, if you're going to be indie rock, you got to pay for a live drummer. Like, we can't have loops in rock. Like, it just goes together. So just pay for a live drummer. There's drummers who just need work and they're on Fiverr and you can get them for really cheap, but they actually are reputable drummers who make way more than what they would get paid on Driver, but they're sitting around and they have a home recording set up. So they'll do it for you. You know what I mean? Like, invest in that. This is the genre that has to just literally has to have a live drummer for me, in my opinion.
Okay, Max.
So I agree with everything that everyone said. And I'm not sure what your intent was, because I heard about Napoleon Dynamite and I was like, oh, wow, that's clever. Because I was just listening, I'm like, is this supposed to be indie pop? And so it made me think Disney and A Day at the Mall, because I don't know how many sophisticated grown women are really in love with the guy that she meets at the mall. So I just really was thinking youthful. And then the vocals were not in tune with youthful. But I do think you're a good storyteller, and you definitely started, like Michelle said, because I wanted to know what happened at the mall, and I wanted you to pull me in a bit more, because as you pitched it, it's about a girl who falls in love with a guy that she's known all her life, and she suddenly sees him in a different light. And you captivated that, but you didn't actually sell it. And I don't know if that's in the third verse that we didn't hear. But so that's my note. But it's pretty cool. Very popular.
Okay, guess what? Michelle gets to stick around and have a friend join her named Shawnee. Is Shawnee here?
Tanya. You said Michelle. Yeah,
I mean, it's Tanya. Tanya got Shawnee is here. Is Shawnee here?
I think she's in the.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. They have a record that we're getting ready to go into next together that they're going to be pitching. It's called Focus. Zoom.
Okay, so Focus is a record that my group for the K-pop project worked on, and it's pretty much a story about not being in the right place in a relationship, but now you're pretty much using the camera analogy, and my focus is on you, and I just want to zoom in and zone in on me and you, and nothing else matters. So we hope you guys enjoy it.
I know we've been apart for a while. I've been missing your smile, boy. I know I let you down. I'm sorry. I was so focused on me. Back then I couldn't give you what you need. Give you what you need, what you need. I've been thinking about you all day and night. The time we spent together. Just thinking about trying one more time. Promise I'll do better.
Look, I don't give a damn who's checking for me. Cause I only got eyes for you. I'm enjoying the view, so leave the past in the past. Cause that's just not where I'm at.
Baby, I'm focused. And I'm trying to zoom in on you. Baby, I'm focused. And I'm trying to zoom in on you. We'd be so picture perfect. And you know you're perfect. You're perfect. That's why I'm trying to zoom in on you. Zoom. We'd be so picture perfect. And you know you're perfect. You're perfect. That's why I'm trying to zoom in on you.
Okay. Next person up is Max.
I love this song. Okay, so yes, you started right after like the fourth note, and we heard your vocals, and that's what those were the notes that we gave to some of the other songs earlier. When the song just goes on and on, instrumental, and it just doesn't grab you. So this one did. I love it. And the rap vocals, I was like, oh, it's almost like Lisa Left Eye Lopez from TLC. So that was cool. So yes, you get cool points for that. And the hook, the zoom. I think that's great, even though you're calling it Focus, and that's cool too. But great job. Love it.
Shell.
Yeah. Okay, so I agree with Max. I thought it was really, really cool. I loved the hook, zoom. That's really great. And everybody's had all these hooky like things like that on these songs. So, and I'm loving that so much. So I love the beginning, like Max said. You came right in. It was awesome. I love your voice. If that's you singing or who's ever singing, it suits the song perfectly. The harmonies are really nice. It has a really nice beat, nice hip hop beat. But the vocals got pitchy as the song went along. That was disappointing because at the top they were so tight with the focus, but then they sort of got out of tune for me. And also I felt like the song melody started meandering, like it was really strong, and then I don't know, I didn't get to hear it long enough or enough that it felt like I wasn't getting a hooky melody anymore, like it was just kind of falling apart. And the lyric for me needs work. It's very generic, and I wish it had a little more ketchup and mustard in the lyric, some more interest and metaphor, imagery, specifics, details, like we were talking about in the other song. But I love the hook so much, and I love the focus at the intro so much. So you grabbed me, right? Like Max is saying, you grabbed me right at the top, but then I kind of lost it a little bit. So I hope you work on it a little more. It's gonna be great.
All right. We're gonna go to Rosie.
So I was in rush to turn on my microphone. Yeah, I agree with what they're saying. I feel like you kind of have an opportunity to kind of play around with the production a little bit. Like in the pitchy parts in the beginning, I almost kind of wanted you to incorporate that visual of, zooming in there. And I feel like you could maybe do that by, I don't know, usually I relay this to my producer and he does it, but how can you like stretch those vocals a little bit to where you actually kind of get that feeling that they're like zooming in? Like, I don't know if you can, and maybe Drew, you can speak to this, play around with like Vox at that point to where it kind of, like you kind of get that sound of it going to a point. I think that'd be kind of interesting to kind of incorporate in there and play around with.
Drew.
Yeah, so thank you very much for sending it. And I agree. You really got to the point at the beginning of it. It kind of had that DJ Mustard kind of production in it. And it got us like ear candy. We heard the first verse. Dope. We heard the rap. Dope. We heard the chorus. Nope. I just got to keep it, keep it real with you on that. And I love the zoom, zoom and focus but you got to determine, is the name going to be Focus or Zoom? Because those titles are interchangeable and both will work in it, and both will work. So just figure out which one you're going to use there. I think the song is like almost there. Now, remember this too, LaShawn. I hope I'm saying it right. A song is an investment, okay? So if you got to invest in getting a background singer to sing along with you, if you're going to invest to get somebody to melodyne the vocals, to tune the vocals, to get a great mixer, a song is an investment. And that investment is done right. That sync can last you for 20, 30 years, okay? So just think about that. Don't hold back when it comes down to that, because right now, because all of us in this room are working on movies that we need songs immediately. And I'll tell you this, had that song been ready, you could have got a sync. That's not saying we won't do it, but we're just giving you the pointers so when you come back to us and bring it to us, that we can accept that into our fold. But that was really good what you brought up. So just really invest in your project, invest in your craft. And really, look, there's no shame in your game having background vocals in it, because Rihanna uses background vocals. Every big star, Katy Perry, have background vocals on their songs. So there's nothing wrong with that at all. Use this as an investment. Invest in your career. But thank you so much. I think the song is closely getting there.
Thank you.
I'll be really quick. Yeah, I would just say if you had a mixer, some mixers are artists. The mixer that I use, I am not one of those laborious singers and songwriters. I'm not going to spend hours. That's for the Michelles of the world, spend hours doing every perfect vocal and every perfect sound and all of that. I want a mixer who has his own kind of thing that he's going to do. And because of this genre that you're working in, for example, you hear these certain songs and they've been trailerized. These engineers have taken this song that was just kind of bass line, and then they add swishes and swoops and things in there. You're like, oh my God, this sounds amazing. That's what you need. I know Michelle was saying the lyric could be more interesting, and that's true, but it really is just a pop, fun song. and most people aren't listening to the lyrics, and we really don't care what you're saying. We like everything that happened musically. And so I just feel like you just need a mixer, like he said, to clean up a lot of the things and kind of make it feel like it's zooming and focusing and everything, like everything that everybody said. So I would say find a mixer who's also trying to, you know, hone his craft, and let him loose. Let him do fun things to it so that you're not overthinking every single sound, because I think that's really what's missing some kind of personality that you may not be able to create without that engineering ear.
Sorry, guys. Okay, so we're going to move on. Thank you, ladies.
Yeah.
Okay, we got Delina. Where you at, Delina? Step up to the plate.
Ahead of quitter.
Hey, hey, hey.
Delina, you here? All
You
right.
can't hear me?
Yep, there you go. All right, so NASCAR.
Okay.
Go ahead, pitch it. What is it
Well,
about?
NASCAR is a song about a guy trying to hit on a girl, and you can't even keep up. So you gotta come with a certain level of everything to even be able to talk.
Okay.
NASCAR. He hit my line like I got time for you. False start, better off, put a hold on you. You about to drop the ball. I don't wanna have to cut you out. Think you know the play, you out of bounds. Little rookie, about to call a timeout. You about to drop the ball. I don't wanna have to cut you out. On your mark, get set, go. You like to chase, this a race though. Got you running like a track star, but I'm switching lanes like a NASCAR. Keep up, oh, oh. Keep switching lanes like a NASCAR. Keep up, oh, oh. Keep switching lanes like a NASCAR.
Okay. We're going to
I
start
gotta,
with you,
I'm
Karen.
going first. Yeah, I'm gonna go first. So exactly what we just talked about is what happened in this song. Very simple, very well mixed, very stylized vocals, and very stylized vocal production, and it's just spot on. It goes with the track, and it's very clear that a mixer said this is where all these sounds belong, and so we were able to hear everything and feel it. So I just wanted to say that this is the demonstration of what we said about the previous song. And it's simple, it's right on point, and I love it.
All right, Max.
That was dope. Yes, like everything. Because I'm like, wow. So I wrote my notes and like it felt very Beyonce to me. So I could hear it on the radio. And if I heard it when I hear it on the radio, I'd be like, is that Beyonce or is it Rihanna? Like, who's that? So that's the response that you want when you play your music. And then lyrically, you are eloquent. I'm like, shoot, you said, got you switching lanes got you running lanes like a track star. Got you switching lanes like NASCAR. I'm like, that's hot. So yes, love it. Great job. Thank you.
All right, Michelle.
All right, I got like nothing to add. I mean, I had exactly the same lines that Max cited. I thought they were fantastic. I love the beat. I love the rhythm of the vocal. The verse is so cool. The rhythmicness of it. I loved it. I loved the intro. It was super great. I'm only hoping when I hear more of the song that, like we've been talking about, that I keep going on a journey, that there's ear candy, more ketchup and mustard in the track, and some stuff comes in and out and happens, and hopefully it does, and the rest of the song is as fab, because I loved it too. I thought it was perfect, and the vocal, the voice tone, perfect. It was great.
Andrew.
Wow. I mean, love that. In fact, I need your info. We got to write. I need somebody like you. That's crazy, because I helped develop Julia Michaels, and she wrote for Bieber and for, Selena and all, no doubt, and for Gwen and all that. But you come in with some great swag in there. It just, when it came out, you're like, oh, it's better be good. And it came out, it's better than good, And so what I would do, and is to, peep this out really quick, maybe a little more terms towards NASCAR. In this day and age and socially, like social items, you might mention Bubba in there, Bubba Wallace. You might mention like the pit crew, firewall, burning rubber, treading, and all this stuff, Talladega, all those things. And you put those nice word associations in it, it's crazy, This song has crazy potential. This song would be great for NASCAR, especially with the new influx of ethnicity. Michael Jordan on it. Come on, Delina. Come on. What are you waiting on?
I'm right here.
What
Let's
are you
go.
waiting on? Okay. Now, what I would do too is like maybe on that hook, NASCAR, I'm running like a NASCAR. Just on that post hook, just implant that right into people's head, and you got a winner. But we're gonna talk, all right? Love it.
Rosie.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, 100%. This was sassy. It made me dance. Like, it's something that I would play getting ready, going to a club. I definitely see it. You can use it in a film, like for a specific scene. And yeah, if you want to make it more commercial, definitely what Drew was saying about adding more NASCAR references in there. Yeah, you got it all in this song, baby, for sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Delina, that's cool. All right.
Thank you.
We're
That's
moving
L
on.
too. I don't know if she's in the room, but that's L on there too.
Okay. All right. Put it all out there.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna move on to Alicia. Is Alicia here? Is Alicia here? Oh man, Alicia. I thought she was gonna be here. All right. Let's see if no, Jackie's not here.
The next song is Broke.
We're gonna skip that one. We're gonna go to I'm gonna go ahead and play K Hill. He's got trivia sitting in for him on this Come Alive record. Trivia, you here for K Hill?
Yes, I surely am. So I'm Alive. Hi again. Was written for Camp's new artist Wix, who was just recently signed to Atlanta Global Music, and it was placed recently as a single.
Where the fuck am I at? Yeah, I woke up in the function on some drugs, yeah. Swear this liquor got me stumbling, but keep them coming. Tell us how to get low, bust down bouncing, with a bust down drowning. Oh, she was astounded, like, oh, what's your info? Don't go down that road. It's hard to see the reason why I live the way I'm living every night. Half the battles after I arrive, but I guess that's life, right? Afraid of feeling thoughts you feel inside, leaning all excuses to the side. Never thought I'd make it out alive. I feel this high coming on, reach for the sky. We've come alive, come along, just for the night. I feel this high coming on, reach for the sky. We've come alive, come along, just for the night. Back on my bullshit again.
What do y'all think? We're gonna go to Rosie first.
Okay. I really liked it. I would shorten the intro a little bit just because I started listening to it and I was like, oh, okay. And then it goes hard at a certain point. So I'd maybe shorten that a little bit. Yeah, but I thought this was really good. This is really current. This is like something that I would hear on the radio for sure. So definitely good for commercials. You can do it in, I would say, television more than film. Yeah, it was good. Great job.
Okay, going to Andrew next.
Yeah, I felt the same way because, you know, it felt like that's the type of song that could transition from movies to television to the radio because it has that trap 150 tempo, 140 tempo. You know, it has that Post Malone, Juice WRLD, Lil TJ, Lil Kel. You ever notice everybody's little or big or young these days?
They all little or they big, huh?
But I feel like it could transition, you know. But what I would do in the production notes, I know you had some nice traction with it, is that, you know, you're using the 808, you know, when you ever use 60 cycles and putting the song together, sometime when you listen to it on the headphones, especially in the Apple AirPods, if you don't have another instrument in that key tagging where it's going on, it can sound like you're out of key. So what I would put in there, if you're gonna use that 808, that 60 cycle 808 tuning, put another instrument in it to differentiate what key that's in. And that way it doesn't really confuse you know, your listeners on where it's going, because it sounds like, well, what key are you in? But if you put that tone in there to substantiate what key you're in, the song is really on its way and it's taken off. Great job.
Yeah, I just want to speak right on the back of what Drew is saying. I have a love-hate relationship with the battle cry thing. Everybody's doing the battle cry thing now. But a lot of times, like he said, the tuning doesn't go with the rest of the song. It's like people forget. You have them screaming and singing, and it's really important that everything else stop. It's really important that everything else just stops moving and doing its thing, because the singer is singing all wild. And even if it's perfectly tuned sonically, the listener only needs to hear what's going on with that battle cry. So I would just, that's like my note for everybody. If you are doing trap, please stop moving everything else musically if that rapper is starting to do a little battle cry thing. That's my only note for the song. Otherwise, it's pretty standard.
All right, Max.
So yes, I think it's a great trap track, but what jumped out for me is for placement. So it sounds great if I wanted to listen to it personally. But there are what we call the dirty dozens, like to sync to picture, especially if it's for TV. And the dirty dozen is like standard in practice. You can't say the F word and, you know, the B word and, you know, the dirty dozen, which I'm not going to say right now, but, you know, the N word, like, it started off and that was what I was in tune to. As much as I was listening to the music, I kept thinking, I can't place this. So I would encourage anyone who's listening to have their radio edit version ready to submit to a music supervisor. And when you submit, it's always encouraged to have the radio edit version and the version that you just played, and then the instrumental to the same song, so that we can sync it to picture seamlessly. Because yes, I love Tupac, but you know, they all had a radio edit version, whether it's Ice Cube, Snoop, they all have a radio edit version, and you should always be prepared to submit that version, because you never know who's listening, and most of the opportunities are not going to be feature film in a Quentin Tarantino movie. It might be for ABC, NBC, God willing, and then your greater residuals come from network TV and not cable TV way up in the dial.
Okay, Michelle.
Okay, so I really liked it, but I had trouble with the very, very distorted intro and the very, very distorted later part and the oh yeahs, which for me were pitchy. And as Andrew was saying, perhaps if we had more definition in the chords, they wouldn't have sounded as pitchy, but they were kind of shrieky for me. So if I were, I'm afraid that the distortion will get in the way if we're syncing it. So, you know, I wouldn't have a track that was that distorted like that, because I would think a lot of music supervisors the people that I work with wouldn't have gotten past the intro and seen what happened after that, which was so super cool, and I loved it. But it was just a cacophonous kind of messy mess for me in the way that it was staticky and muffled and muted and distorted. And maybe it's just not my thing, but that
you would just prefer
concerns
Michelle to
me.
just come right in that first verse, just drop that.
Yeah, I agree with you, Kevin. That would be awesome. We would get it. It would be amazing. But all that mess in the front, if I were the person screening the songs, I'd probably not listen any further.
Okay.
That's a good point. I wanted to say this too really quick because I know if you listen to a lot of Juice WRLD's production and Triple X, Xtasia, not the other Triple X, but if you listen to that, they have a tonal center. They use like an acoustic guitar or a piano in it, and that piano sets the tonal center of where it's going. And then they drop that 808 in there, like on that one in there. So really just start out with that cool tonal center, Migos, even if it's a bell sound or whatever, it has to start with the structure of some sort of tonal center in there. And once that happens, then you got everybody sucked in there. It's like boiling a frog in water. You got them in there, but you got to get them in there with the musicality of it.
Rosie, you closing us out? Oh, you got it. Did you already speak, Rosie?
Did I already speak on this? I already spoke on this.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So that's pretty much it. Thank you, Trivy. Fontel, you're next. Fontel, where you at?
I'm right here. Can you
All
hear
right,
me?
come on in.
So this song is called Tenergy. I love this song. I love being a part of this song, of the writing of this song. It's about someone who's really involved within themselves so that they can fully emotionally connect with another person. But you're doing it in a way where that you're so happy that you're able just to dance with it and really vibe and connect.
Feed me, love me, heal me. Touch me, tease me, use me. Use all your power, speak through me. Channel good love in me. Marry me, I got the ring. I hear you in my dreams. I heard my calling. Feeling like Winnie, wanna dance with somebody. Speak to my soul. I can't keep still. I'm breaking out. I'm breaking out to the world. I'm feeling free. I like your sweet melody. I can't keep this to myself, so come with me, get on the floor. Synergy, that's what I need. That bass, that beat, I can't stop till I get enough, baby. Let's groove it, now move it. That music moves me, yeah. Synergy, that's what I need, yeah. That bass, that beat, I can't stop till I get enough, baby. Let's groove it, now move it. That music moves me, yeah.
Okay, Carolyn.
I feel like I just listened to like 4 different songs. And all of them were good, but I wasn't able to finish hearing the other one. So I almost kind of like, wait, I wasn't finished with the last part yet. I think this is a good example of hooking people, but also reminding them what they got hooked on. Like, I needed more time to listen to certain things. So there's the rule of 3s. Like I took songwriting classes, and they always tell you have to do pretty much everything you do, you need to do 3 times. And then you can switch it up by the time you've repeated at least 3 things, if that makes sense. So I just wanted to hear the first part again before I went to the next part, and I want to hear that again so I could figure out if I liked that. And then the third part did repeat, and I was like, oh, okay, but then it was over. And so I feel like I literally need to start it over just so I can internalize what happened sonically. Nothing, there are a number of things that could have changed, but the only thing I can think about is, wait, I want to hear the first part again. So that's what I'll say. I'll let everybody else chime in, but I needed some repetition in there.
Okay, all right, Andrew.
Yeah, Transitory, it was a little too much because it felt like I was going off of 4 off ramps at the same time. But it also, if you would have stayed on the 405 a little bit longer and then hit the 101 a little bit later, 8 bars later, and then hit the 110, now we have a major artery of a song. But, it felt like, Shoop from Salt and Pepper to Mr. Big Stuff, then it felt like a 60s thing. But if you really just stuck to, a amount of measures and really nailing that verse, nailing that pre-chorus, nailing that hook, because look, the beauty of it is you have 4 songs in one. You could take each one of those ideas and make a song out of it. And I would strongly recommend that. Take all those 4 ideas and make a song out of each one of them because you have it there. But it's very ingenious what you did. It's just going to be too much over people's heads, but you do have 4 in 1, so just use it, okay?
All right, Max.
So I concur. When you started, I thought you were onto something. I'm like, oh, I love this. And then, like everyone else said, it became another song. So you hooked me and I was thinking, oh, and the first song sounded contemporary. And then it started feeling dated when you segued into the 118 freeway. It felt like, okay, now that almost sounds like old Janet Jackson or maybe old Michael Jackson. And so, yes, and I think even when Drew said Salt and Pepper, it did start feeling like it was not a contemporary song. That's it for me.
Okay, Rosie?
Yeah, definitely some continuity there. And I feel like it needed something. And I'm so sorry, I can't quite put my finger on it, but I feel like it needs something. And I don't know if it's like an electric guitar. Like, I feel like you have the song going here, but I need something to kind of go here while it's going here, if that makes sense. Yeah, like I feel like I needed like an electric guitar or maybe a different type of vocal, maybe something a little bit deeper. I don't know, something else in there though. I was kind of feeling that.
Okay. Michelle?
Yeah, well, I agree with everyone about the top. The top of the song, I loved it. And I was thinking, wow, this is pretty cool. It's kind of like Motown meets something modern. And I was going, there's such a cool vibe and jam going on here. And I'm really liking it. And I love the melody at the top. And then everything started to meander and there was no chorus. And I was like, where's the chorus? So that's what I would say is it needs a real chorus for me. Like Rosie was saying, something's missing. For me, that was what was missing is I want something that says to me, here's the chorus, right? And the vocals were pitchy, which was made it kind of sonically difficult to listen to. And so, yeah, I agree that there's too many songs going on here, but it has great potential. And if it was something modern meets Motown kind of vibe, it could be really cool.
Okay. We're gonna move on. We got Taylor. She's gonna do Ready or Not.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Taylor?
Yes, I'm here. Hello, everybody. Ready or Not gives you the vibe of being betrayed by a close friend. And it's amazing because we did it during a sync project and we synced it to the crazy 88 scene of Kill Bill. So just keep that in your mind as you're listening to this song and enjoy the ride.
I can't believe this right now. I can't believe this. So this is how it all goes down. This is how it all goes. I thought we'd be together, you and me forever, but I don't even know right now. I don't even know you now. See, I thought it was you and me. That's what you and me. Now you are a mystery. You started acting foolish, and now you on this cool tip, like you ain't even know me. You know I'm not tripping over nothing. If you's a boss, you should have seen this coming. Came at you straight, then you twisted me crooked. And now you tryna play me like I'm stupid. I gave you my kindness, you abused it. Coming for my vengeance, cue it. If you ready or not, if you ready or not, you ready or not, if you ready, I'm coming if you ready or not, if you ready or not, you ready or not, if you ready, I'm coming if you ready or not.
Okay, Michelle.
Okay. Wait. Oh, I'm unmuted. All right. Well, first of all, I love this. I love the melodies. The verse was so great, and the way it segued into the pre-chorus, it was fabulous. I just love the transition and the different rhythmic thing. I like the vocal. It reminded me of Ruel. Do you know who Ruel is? The artist. She's like a big sync artist. She gets all kinds of things in synchronization, and so I really loved that. I've been betrayed by my two best friends, so I can totally relate to it. And I loved the lyric. The lyric is really great. I would think if in the lyric you just had a little more imagery, a little more metaphor, because you're using awesome verbiage, like it's not simple, and I love that. But I just like to see a little more visual in the lyric, and of course we're only hearing this short tiny snippet of it. I wanted to hear more, and I really liked the production that was going on, and I wanted to hear what more ear candy and ketchup and mustard I was gonna get on the ride, like what the ride would do. So I definitely want to hear the song more, and I loved it from all the little bit I could hear. Thank you for sharing it.
Thank you so much.
All right, Max.
Great job. I loved it. I could hear that in a feature film, and perhaps that's why you were saying, think Kill Bill, because I could see it in a film that magnificent on that level, and not so much, cheesy TV, which is a lot of what I do. But that being said, it almost felt like it was so significant to be placed on a certain level. And you might want to also think about making music that you can get a lot of use out of, a lot of placements. And I know Michelle can even chime in, that if you can write a song that you can use in more than one channel, whether it's a car commercial or a movie or a TV show or a video game. So if you can get the more uses that you can get, the more money you will make. So when you write, it feels so specific that if I can get this one opportunity, the next time someone's going to do a Kill Bill kind of, then you have to wait for that single opportunity. So I think it's great when you can write as a songwriter and figure out, how can I monopolize this? How many avenues can I get this played and placed? So this is great, but as you continue to build your catalog, keep in mind that you want to write songs that you can capitalize in all lanes of the freeway.
Thank you so much. Yes, I'm going to take that advice.
Okay, Andrew.
I like you ready or not. I like that. It's still in my head. That's the anatomy of a hook. You can remember. I like the way you put the vernacular and how the grammar. You didn't say you ready. You said you ready. You put that little little Jamaican feel and that little Caribbean feel in it. And love the way it's set up. And people think it's so Billie Eilish, but there was Tori Amos, there was Fiona Apple, who brought in that whole indie vibe. That really took me back to when those girls were singing that, where that lyric just really sunk into that Stephen King type of lyric, of while I'm going somewhere. Now, a couple of production notes is that maybe droning. What key is that song in? Let me ask you, what key?
I'm not exactly sure, but I can
Well,
find
you
that
better
out.
know your keys. You better know your keys when I ask you, okay?
Okay.
All right. So what I would do is take, even a low drone on that low piano, on that grand piano, just bam, and really knock it into that root note in there. And that way it just bridges everything together. And what I liked about the song too is that you can almost hear the Foley and the sound effects going on in the movie. So it really led to my imagination of where I could go. And point number two, it took too long to get to the chorus. You lost me, cut that verse in half, cut that pre in half. Because as I say, don't bore us, get to the chorus, okay? So we have to get there, and in that small amount of time, you only have that much of a window to get there, but love where it was going, just a few little edits, you got it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Carolyn.
I just want to quickly say great song, but I also want to say this song, we haven't spoke about vocal production, but this song in particular has so many beautiful things that could happen with background vocals, with just creatively, the vocal could do so many things. And I just felt like if there were a really cool, think about Thriller, right? Before we even get to him singing, there's all this vocal stuff going on. And only if you've listened to it 5 million times can you like get excited and say, oh my gosh, do you hear him saying this? And they're kind of saying there's people making noises and all of that. Like Andrew said, you can kind of hear what can be happening with Foley and everything like that. If you thought about vocally what you could be doing in the background, even if it's just high screams, very far away, there's so many things you could do with reverb and delay and cool stuff that would literally make us feel like we are in this creepy scene that you're coming, ready or not. So I would just say that think about, because we only have one voice that whole time. And I'm thinking that at some point, some background singers, some backup are going to come in. Somebody's going to hit a high note, or like he talked about drones. You could even do kind of like those vocal drones where lately we've been hearing a lot of really low octave stuff getting doubled in the back and stuff like that. So that's all I was hearing, the potential of hearing so many other things in the background to really bring the creepiness of the song forward.
All right. Thank you, Taylor. Appreciate you.
Thank you,
all right,
everybody.
So we're getting ready to do the last comments because we got to get Carolyn into her. We got a great thing coming up that she's going to be doing. So don't nobody leave because this is great what she's about to do. But I want to get some great last comments from my panel. And thank you guys so very, 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 very much. Y'all are incredible. And this has been incredible. Yeah, and I love that you guys are all just really, your approach. I wanted this to just, I didn't want this to turn into like work. I wanted to have a little humanization to it. That's why I tried to just, just get you guys to talk to people from what your perspective was. What did you go through? I mean, because everybody don't just get to where you got to. You went through something to get there. And I want people to kind of understand the journey. And I appreciate you sharing. And I would love to get some last great comments from you. And Miss Michelle, you're going to go last because I love you so much and I want to save you. Okay, so we're going to start with you, Mr. Drew.
Well, I can say this is very informative. In fact, I've learned from this panel too as well.
Oh, wow,
I
that
learned
made me
from all
feel
of you.
good. Thank you, Drew. I needed that.
Hey,
I needed that, man. I needed that. Thank you.
Hey, it's the truth and the truth with the F on it. Truth. To really sit in a great think tank of colleagues of this caliber, really took me to the next level too. And also, what it did was that it allowed us to come into each other's world. Now we have a great relationship, all of us together. And I look forward to expanding this and all of us coming together and creating this great universal sound of music supervision and just floating the universe with it. So thank you guys very much.
Yo. All right, we're going to Max.
Thanks for the opportunity, Michelle. Thanks once again for inviting me, Kevin. Great panel workshop event. I'm excited. And yes, I had fun. I learned from everyone as well. And I hope the takeaway for the artists is that there's something that each one of us said, and if you can actually factor it into your next song, and even going back and refining the tunes that you played for us today, I would love to hear the remix of the songs that we heard. But the stuff is great. So Kevin and yeah, I think you actually selected great artists with great tunes, that this was very valuable. So thank you. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, Miss Rosie.
I thought everything that we heard today was really great. Thank you so much for sharing with us your hard work. I hope the advice that we gave you is really, really helpful.
Incredible.
And yeah, I just encourage you to always be bettering yourself, always learn as much as you can about your craft and about others. And as much as we've talked about what sounds right to people during this session, I urge people to think about what doesn't sound right to people as well. Not only is that going to help you in your craft, but it's also going to prepare you for situations where they want something that's obscure, or say you're doing a horror film and you need to make your audience uncomfortable. You can use the things that we've been talking about in the session for those specific sessions. That's when you can play around with your vocals and the production and the writing. And so definitely something to think about while you're moving forward with your music.
Okay, now we're going to Miss Carolyn.
Yeah, I love the breadth of the music that we've heard today. I feel like I saw different facets of a lot of different sounds, and I think each one of the songwriters that were featured today should talk to each other and get in touch with each other. I know a few of you guys already work together, but it's just beautiful to kind of hear everybody has their own little strengths, and I almost feel like if this whole team got together and took a lot of the advice that we shared, they could all help remix each other's songs, and it would just be kind of like, I got the mixer, I got this, I do well with drums, I'm a really good lyric writer, I know how to make things creepy. Like it's like you got to remember that you're not strong at everything, so take your strengths and sit around each other and say, okay, how can you make this better, because I don't do that well. And it's not even about saying well, right? What we've also learned today is just trying something different sometimes is what's needed. It's not even better or worse. So that's what I have to say. Thank you guys again, like Rosie said, for your creativity, for putting your songs out there. We don't have jobs without the music. So we appreciate you guys creating and continuing to make this industry run. It's the lifeblood. I do not have a job without you guys creating, so keep creating.
Okay, Michelle, bring us home, bring us home, bring us home.
All right, yes sirree, yes sirree. Well, first of all, this was so super and really wonderful to participate in. So I just want to thank you, Kevin, and Writing Sessions America. And the songs were thank you. The songs were of such high quality. So obviously you're doing something great, Kevin, because you're nurturing all these amazing writers and artists and producers, and just doing a stellar job at Writing Sessions America. They were great, great songs. When we all do this, we never know what we're gonna get, and we got amazing music. So that was really, really exciting. And thanks, Max, Drew, Carolyn, Rosie. Thank you so, so much for participating. I mean, you guys came through, and that was so beautiful to serve and give your time and expertise. So that was really super exciting. And thank you all for the great songs. It's all I can say. Again, it's all about the song. Like NSAI always says, it starts with the song. And all of us are creators here, which is the super coolest thing on the panel, in the audience, and all of us are, like I say, music is my air. It's all about our music. So hopefully this was helpful. And Kevin, thank you so much. And come to my session tomorrow if you feel like it.
No, everybody, we're gonna have this lady She's gonna really be doing a thing. Please come out. You have to come and be a part of what we're doing right here with Writing Sessions America. Join and become part of the organization, become part of what we're doing here. But right now, I have to really turn this over to a great lady. I am so honored. I am so very, very honored because this is an extension of what we really came in here for. I thank everybody, one of our panelists, and I'm going to be in touch with every one of our panelists so I can really connect with y'all even more. But I turn the floor over right now to Miss Carolyn Owens. I thank you, Miss Owens.
Yay.
Thank you so much. So I wanted to do this pitch thing today because what is separating those who are very successful from those who are not in the sync world especially is how you pitch. And none of us benefit from getting pitches that aren't effective. And so it behooves me to let you guys know kind of what we look for, what turns us off, what turns us on, so that you're better prepared to actually pitch your music so it actually gets listened to. Because it kind of starts with that email or that DM or however you're reaching out to us. So I wanted to do that today. The name of this presentation is How to Craft a Perfect Pitch, and I am going to share the resources that I have with you guys. I'll start by sharing my screen just to give you this because we're kind of running out of time and I want to leave time for questions. So I'll try to be really quick.
You have 30 minutes. Take your time. Don't rush.
Okay.
Don't rush. Thank you. We want to hear everything that you wanted to share with us.
All right, cool. Can you guys see that? So I'll start by saying the perfect pitch is personal, intentional, timely, it's connected, and it's hooky. I ask that you guys literally, as you're preparing emails or any type of communication with people, that you literally put this acronym in your email and say, okay, I need to say something personal. We heard earlier, Michelle was saying there was no pleasantries. There was no intro. They didn't say my name. These are things that human beings want to see. It's just human nature. We want to be acknowledged as the individual that we are. So whether that means you say, I saw your work on Entertainment Tonight, or I heard your song on this show, or whatever it is, you need to say something personal as an intro in your email or in whatever message you have going on. The next thing is it needs to be intentional. A lot of people will say in the emails to me, listen to my music. Okay. We all know you're pitching me music. We all know that part of what you want me to do is listen to your music. But what is your intent? And I need to know your intent so I can know where you are in your current journey, whether or not you're kind of well-versed in receiving placements, if you're just looking to get feedback on your music, or if you have a very specific project in mind, some project you know that I'm working on. You know, I'm pitching music to this new movie that I saw on IMDb Pro that you're working on. Or I see that you previously worked with this director and I've always wanted to work with this director. Are you still working with that director on a new project? So you have to get your intentions together when you do your pitches so that that personal thing that you say about me can lead into what connects us. And I'll get to connect it later, but the intention needs to be there so that I know what part of my brain I need to address this email. And then it needs to be timely. So a lot of people, and Michelle is actually great at this, and I know she's probably gonna be like, but we've never synced anything together. But she consistently sends out her pitches. I can almost let you guys know, like pretty much every 2 to 3 weeks or 4 weeks, I probably have received an email from Michelle because she's consistent and she's timely. And I know that they are coming. I know that she has a strategy for how she does her business. So you need to also have that. The reason why it makes me feel good is because I'm receiving an email that says November songs or holiday something or whatever it may be. And that automatically makes me think, I have to look at this now. I have to listen to this now because it's urgent. It just happened. They're sending me the new month of the new thing, right? And so that's another human nature thing that you want to tap into, whether it's the song of the week or there's certain things that we automatically are thinking, I have to do this now. And it's because it has somehow been connected to a time. right? Now, the other thing is connected. And by connected, I mean it needs to be connected to a message or a theme or something that has something to do with story. So when I say connected, that means you wouldn't send me a playlist of all 10,000 of your catalog. That would not be advantageous. I would not know what to listen to. But if you say, these are all my sex scene songs, for example, or these are all my happy-go-lucky songs, or all my kids' songs, then it's connected to story, it's connected to theme, it's connected to some kind of message that I can automatically say, this will go good with this this show that I'm working on, this project I'm working on, and now I can connect your music to something I'm working on. So that's your connected piece. And then it needs to be hooky. I also use H to say that it needs to be humble, right? And by that, I mean, it needs to literally tell me why now, right? Why are you doing this now? And that has come from me. People have shared their goals with me, right? So people have said, you know, I really see these songs in a film and I want to do that by the end of this year or something like that. That automatically pulls out the helper in me that says, I want to see this person be successful. So humble or hooky or whatever, you're asking for help. You're asking for someone to do something for you that, yes, will serve the project they're working on, but it'll also help you advance your career. So you need to be vulnerable in that moment and make me remember that this is the person who's saying, I want my first placement in a feature. I want my, 100th placement in a TV show, whatever it may be. I need something to remember you by as a person, not just as your music, but your goal, your purpose, your message, whatever you're trying to connect with as a career. That's what you kind of end your email with, because I'm going to remember that. So that is the perfect pitch. And again, I wanted to open it up to questions and I wanted to keep it really succinct. So those are my kind of pointers for you. And I will start to take questions and we can talk about specific emails. If anybody wants to share their screen about specific things, I'm good with that too. But I just wanted to give you guys this little snippet of information that will help us all connect better when we're pitching our music. All right. Does anyone have any questions, comments, anything they want to say or ask?
Can I comment on the hooky part?
Yes.
Yeah, so can you go into more detail about what that would look like in a pitch situation? Like you said, humble is kind of hooky, like, is it a joke? Is it something personal,
It could be a joke. I actually used to have a line at the end of my email that said, a candle loses nothing. Now I forget what it was. A candle loses nothing by lighting another candle or something to that effect. I forget what it was. But even that can be hooky. You need something that makes me remember you as a person. So what I was saying was it could be a goal. So even if it's just, going for 100 placements in the next year, or helping children become who they want to become. So it can be a line, or it could be a goal, or it could be a purpose, or it could be a message, but it's just something that humanizes you beyond your music and is almost like a mission statement, if you will, for who you are as a person, because that's going to help me remember who you are. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. Additional questions? Any additional
Hello.
Hey, who am I? I can't tell who I'm talking to, but go ahead.
Honey, I'm going to share my screen really quick.
Okay.
And I want to see if I'm kind of on the general lines of what you were talking about.
Okay.
So let me go. Okay. I don't know if it's sharing.
If it asks me for permission, I will allow it. So, but I do need you to click, the share screen, and it'll ask me to give you that permission.
You have permission now.
Okay.
Thank you, Gypsy.
Okay. Okay. So this is kind of a little concept that I've put together for kind of giving me a guideline on how to present myself when I'm going to start connecting with other people like producers or even people that work with me or trying to help me build my brand and stuff. So I don't know if this is kind of, I don't know if this is what you were talking about.
So I don't see your screen right now. I'm sorry, honey. Gypsy, do you see her screen?
Okay. I don't see it either, no.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe it's something that you can read instead of sharing your screen.
Yeah, go ahead and read it. That would be
Background.
great. Thank you. Good idea, Gypsy.
Okay. Okay. So at the top, it says presents my artist name, which is Honeybee, and then I just have something that says multifaceted, intriguing, talented, unique in every way. And then it just lists like singer, rapper, songwriter, lyricist, poet. And then I have a quote at the end saying, life is simply magnificent and full of paradigm shifts, etching throughout your journey like a rainbow. And then I have a few insignias at the bottom and just kind of saying like, giving like a tagline at the end saying, if you want to join the royal court, follow the movement and become a courtier.
Yeah, that's exactly a great example of hooky. I think that the stuff at the top in terms of your titles, you know what I mean? Those are important, but if you write too many, I start to feel overwhelmed, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're okay. 5 or 6 different things, I'm like, oh, I don't know. But having that line at the bottom and having the thing about the royal court and all of that's something I can remember. Oh, honey, with the royal thing, she does the thing. Oh, okay, I get it. You know what I mean? So that's a great example of hooky. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
You have another question for Mary and Nicole?
Hi, yes. Okay, so I didn't want to miss the chat, but someone said, what's too long for an email? And I thought that was a good question.
I literally say 1 sentence for each thing. So 5 sentences, and I wouldn't even say 5 sentences, but 5 literally, like PITCH. Hit each of those things, 1 sentence each, and give me a link, 1 link to a themed playlist, something very specific that has some kind of explanation of what it is, and be done. It should never be more than 5 sentences unless we have a relationship, or if you're specifically pitching for a scene that you know of, like you received a brief from me or someone else who said I was working on this, and you're explaining how you're fit for this particular project. But if this is a pure intro, we've never met, we're not speaking about a specific thing, no more than 5 sentences. 1 should address me, be personal. The second should address why you're, pitching me. It should address the timing of it. I just worked on this song last week, or, whatever it may be, in terms of letting it be timely, making sure that it's connected to some kind of story, theme, something, and then leaving me with something to remember you by. That's it. No more than 5 sentences. And a link, a streaming link, not a download link, not an attachment, none of that. A streaming link. A lot of people use Disco now, but there are so many others. But yeah, it should be a streaming link. I don't particularly like SoundCloud. I think most of us music supervisors prefer Disco now because there's an account there at Disco that we can go into and listen to when we want to, and it doesn't have to come to our email if we don't want it to. And the metadata and all of the splits and everything are already in Disco. That's why we like that. So there are a lot of different platforms that allow for that usability. But yeah, a streaming link, please, no attachments, unless we have a relationship.
You have another question from Camellia Carter?
Hi, how are you all? I was gonna ask, would it be better to have be represented by like an agent or something like that if you're submitting for placement or whatnot, or do you accept direct like that, like you're saying, or do you all typically like more open to accepting like from agents and stuff like that? Or
obviously, because there's relationship, we're more apt to open and listen to agents. But honestly, I am one of those, and I would like the other music supervisors to speak to this if they're still available, but I personally go by vibe. And I know that sounds so bad, but between your subject line in your email, and whether or not the vibe that I'm feeling from what you're sharing is right, and the music, professional level of the music, whether or not it's properly mixed and mastered and all of that. But really, I go by vibe. And I can honestly say a number of people, this one guy actually sent me a broken link. Like the link didn't even work. And I replied to him because I really liked how he introed his email. So I wish there was a like black and white type of thing. Yes, I do listen to more stuff from sync agents, but sometimes I do kind of get weary, if you will, of the agents pitching the same artist and all of that. And I do get excited about opening an email because somebody's name, has 2 R's and I'm used to only 1. It's weird. I've had really a lot of unique ways that I've been pitched. So I personally do accept emails from people, and I don't respond to a lot of them, but those that I do, there's so many different reasons why I have.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We have another question from Corey Jacobs.
Yeah, Corey, what's up?
What's up, girl?
Corey actually worked on a few songs with me when I released music in 2019. So Corey and I have a relationship. So I don't know what he's about to ask me. So.
I'll send you an attachment. I have an attachment to send you.
Okay, let's see.
Now here's my question. It's a 2-part question. Is it okay to send links in the first email or just establish contact with a music supervisor? And
okay,
when you do send music, how many songs should you send? 10, 5, 1, 2?
Well, it all depends on what you're trying to pitch. If you're pitching as a music catalog, I probably need a link to, a pretty substantial playlist. If you're pitching for sync and you're just trying to send me a playlist of love themed songs, then maybe it's more like 3 to 5. If you're just trying to find placement for a specific song that, has a very pointed message, then it's just that one song. So it depends on why you're pitching. In terms of links, there are schools of thought. Like I said, I have literally responded to an email where the guy sent me a broken link. Like that is like, how are you going to do that? But I literally replied to him and I said, your link doesn't work, but I like the picture you put in your email. By the way, personal could also just be a picture of yourself. Hooky could also be a picture of yourself. Most of the emails I receive do not have pictures in them. I'm still a human being. I'm gonna see a picture and be like, oh, that's cool, that's dope. Whether it's artwork or a visual of a personal photo or whatever. So that's just a little thing. But yeah, there's different schools of thought about the link thing. I've had people just email me and say, hey, I saw you at this panel, you're really cool. And I just want to say thanks for what you said. And I'll respond to them and we'll start a whole conversation. So there's different schools of thought.
What about?
But I would say to kind of drive this home though, know who you're connecting with and try to make sure that you're addressing them personally, and that will probably inform whether or not you should send that link or not.
Okay, so not on the first email.
There's different schools of thought.
I'm just trying to.
I would say if you really are, if you saw this person at a panel, you saw this music supervisor in a social space, so that there is a connection just from what they spoke about or something like that, then you may not have to send a link. You may literally say, I'm interested in a consultation with you. I would like to talk to you more specifically about what you talked about on the panel and how that affects my career or what have you. And then I don't necessarily have to listen to your music right away. But if I have an existing project, what I'm working on, and you've done your research, and maybe some previous songs that I've synced for that, you might want to send a link and say, hey, I have songs like Ruel and Ohana Bayam and all these other people. And so I just wanted to send you some stuff that's in the same vein that is one stop. Let me know if you're interested. So different schools of thought. I hope I answered the question.
I appreciate it.
For sure.
I would like to add, Carolyn, in reference to, I love indie artists. So for me, it just feels more organic if an indie writer, composer, artist approaches me humbly. And with the 5 bullet points that you mentioned, that would be ideal. Because often, if you feel like you have to find an attorney, you don't have to do that. Because when you're genuine and it's your craft, this is about you and your dream, your vision that you have for yourself, and I can feel that. If it comes from an agent or attorney, it's about what's in it for them. And often, if I have a budget, a lot of the music that I use is gratis. So it's about, placement for an opportunity in promoting you. Yeah. And so if there is a budget, the little bit of money that I have for you is going to go to your agent or your attorney who doesn't need to negotiate a standard contract that the network needs me to have you sign if you want to be, in primetime TV. So yes, indie artists are, or composers are welcome.
Thank you so much for saying that, Max. It's great to hear perspective. So I appreciate that.
Can I say something to you, Carolyn?
Please go ahead.
Because I just love your whole attitude, and it's so amazing. I want to recommend that everybody here take a note, because everyone is different. What Max likes, what Drew likes, what Carolyn likes, what Rosie likes. So from my perspective, I keep notes, but what each of you like and what you need and what is good, because I will say that you are nice, Carolyn, but I work with a lot of people who are not nice, and they don't want me to write them twice. So they don't want me to write them and say, hey, Carolyn, how are you? I hope you're doing whatever, blah, 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 my nice letter. And then say, can I send you a song for so-and-so? That irritates them, because then they have to write me back twice. They just want me to send the song with the disco link, with the letter. So I think that the most important thing is for us to keep track of what each person, if we get it, this is such a great opportunity to hear what Carolyn likes, what Max likes, so that we can, from our end, do you know what I'm saying? Because you're a beautiful person, but it's not like that all the time.
I'm glad you said that, because I'll be honest, when I'm in my personal capacity as the founder of Music for Scenes, and I'm choosing songs for short films or web series, and people are really passionate about these personal projects that they're doing, I'm in a whole different vein than when I am the manager of clearance at Fox Sports. It's a whole different person. So I'm able to kind of, if I get a friendly email on my Fox email, I'm like, who gave this person my work email? So if I'm honest, this is a good point. We all, depending on per project, like she said, sometimes I'm working with people who are on a hard deadline. They know exactly what they want. I don't have time to deal with indie artists. They only want like top 40, what's happening, what's popping now. And I'm not listening to any indie anything. So it's like, you have to also know kind of what you're pitching. If you are pitching me for any project on my personal business, then we're good. And I'll probably check it out when my time allows. But if it's for Fox, it needs to be pointed, specific. Give me that link right away. Tell me where you're coming from. Do you have E&O insurance? Like, I have a whole different conversation with those people. So I'm glad that you said that, because even some of the same music supervisors who are nice and cool and collected, depending on which project we're working on, because of who is in charge, we have to treat those opportunities differently. Do we have maybe two or three more questions? I definitely have a heart out at 7, because I got to get dinner on the table.
Yes, we do. Thank you, ladies. That was great. The next question is going to be from Eric Smith.
Good afternoon. Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
That's Eric with 1 R. So,
okay.
but it may be 2. Hey, I'll put 2 in there.
That was funny. That was cute. I got that. See, that's hooky.
All right.
Anyway, go ahead.
Well, and my tagline is "Let your heart see what your eyes cannot." So that's my motto. So you can remember that. That's how, by me being visually impaired, that's how I try to let folks know that my heart is going to be really big as far as seeing my future. But my question to you is when it comes to timing, say for example, if someone is trying to release something maybe for the holiday season, is there like a time frame, so many months in advance, that it is best to send something associated with maybe a season or the year that you'd like to have it in by?
So I wish I had a printout. Things have changed obviously because of COVID. There used to be a very specific pilot season, very specific pitching season, very specific kind of filming. Well, LA is always filming, but there used to be kind of more specific guidelines. And now I feel like all bets are off. People are filming stuff for 2021 already now. It's kind of all messed up. But yes, I would say for holiday stuff, it used to be summer. So if you're pitching stuff for holiday projects, you would be pitching in the summertime. If you were pitching stuff for stuff that would go live in September, so a lot of people's new seasons go live in September, you will be pitching in the spring, which is pilot season. So if you were pitching something for pilot season, you'd be pitching in November, December, like right now. So that would be coming into that February, March when stuff starts premiering and they get those short orders, where you end up seeing 6 episodes or something and you're like, what was that? That's not even a full season. That's pilot season. People are getting, kind of opportunities to start new shows and stuff, but then the real stuff comes back in September, So that's kind of the cycle. I know I'm talking really fast. I want to get to the next 2 questions, but yeah, you always need to kind of be 3 to 6 months ahead of the game, but 6 months is better, but always be creating, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much for answering my question. And it's a pleasure to.
Thank you.
All right, next is Joshua.
Hey, Carolyn.
Hi.
Thank you for a wonderful presentation. I got my notes filled up. So thank you very much. 2 questions. I done made the perfect email, hit all 5 points. I know you're gonna like it. I know you're gonna listen. I gotta get you to open the email. So what is the perfect subject line that we can craft?
So there are different schools of thought, right? So I will say, and I forget what library this guy worked for, but he would say outrageous stuff in the subject line. It would be like, bomb, what you're about to listen to is gonna do this. Like he would be so creative. I was thinking this man clearly sits down and probably plans out every subject line when he pitches, because it would always be so creative. You know what I mean? But then some people, if I don't know that that's probably this person from this library, I'll probably be like, that's an ad. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's different schools of thought. So be really creative, or literally put in there pitch for a certain project, in caps, and then put your artist name. And, like I said, like a date sometimes is really good. November 2020 or something like that. I have filters that filter out people's dates, because a lot of people use the subject line of, November 2020 or September 2020. And I use that to kind of filter stuff out, so that I'm only really looking at stuff new. So there's different schools of thought, but be creative, but then also put pitch in the email.
Put pitch in the subject line. Put pitch, which is there.
It works. Mm-hmm. It does, and like I said, there's different schools of thought. Some people will say, "Oh, this is a pitch. This goes in my folder that I listen to, maybe every other week, rather than right away." So there's different schools of thought. If you want to be in that pitch email when they're listening for stuff for their projects, cool. If you want to be really personal, then you literally put a show that they work on, right? And say song for Power, for example, or something like that. And then it's like, oh, okay, they're pitching for Power, or this is about the show that I get to work on 3 months from now, whatever it may be. Just be, do your research, and just as you would be really specific with what you put in the email, be as specific as you would be in the subject line, because that's all we got. We got your name, and I would suggest your name probably needs to be the name of your business or your publishing company. again, I know there's different schools of thought. If other music supervisors still on want to respond, that's fine. But I have found when I don't see like just a generic name, when I see like so-and-so music publishing or something like that, just feels more professional in terms of the name that I see. So you may want to consider changing the actual first and last name of the email title that comes up. If you use any type of catalog management or marketing campaign type management, you can do that for each email you send. But if you're just sending from Gmail and all of that, then you'll have to just go manually into your profile and change that. Yeah.
Cool. Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
For sure. All right, this is the final question because I have to get off. Yeah, what do we have? Final question.
Thank you so much, Carolyn. The last question is going to be from Jordan King.
Okay. Hi, Jordan.
Hey, Carolyn, thank you so much for your knowledge and your willingness to share. I definitely learned a lot tonight, and I appreciate your information that you've given so far. I actually just got my question answered. The last question was my question, but I guess, kind of want to get a little more specific because you did mention that in the subject line, you should mention the date. So would that be the date of creation of the song that you're pitching, or the date that you want to have it released, or like what date?
Kind of the current timing. And I know that sounds like counterintuitive, like of course you got the email yesterday, so of course it's November 2020 or whatever, but because I received, like we talked about Michelle or certain people, they literally pitch a new playlist or a new set of songs each month. And so to keep things cataloged and organized, I have a filter that literally organizes my email so that each month I can go in and say, all these people I'm used to getting emails from, these are their November pitches. So it just may be advantageous to add that somewhere in, And it also reminds you need to keep track of how many times you've emailed me. You know what I mean? So that I can see, oh, she sent me a November pitch. I didn't listen to it. So then when you send me December, I might be able to go back to November and say, oh, I didn't even listen to what she sent last month. Let me see what that is. And so you guys know, like a month is a pretty good peg of how often to email a music supervisor. Anything sooner just feels overwhelming for us. Or for me, I'll say that. I don't know if any other music supervisors still want to speak to that, but.
Thank you. That's a great help. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you. All right, I want to say thank you guys for investing in yourselves. Thank you for joining and staying longer because this was a very long call. So I appreciate you guys for investing in yourselves. I look forward to your pitches. You can, I'll give everybody an opportunity in the chat to share your contact info. I'm at musicforscenes.com. You can see that in my title here on the screen. If other music supervisors want to give their pitch emails or their websites of where submissions can be sent, I welcome that in the chat as well. And I want to thank Kevin and Michelle on, and I will let them kind of close out the session.
No,
you are amazing.
You're amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all got to give her a unmute. Y'all got to give her a unmute. Come on, real quick.
Yeah, Carolyn. Hey.
Good job.
Hey.
That was great.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was great.
Hey, Michelle, where you at? Where you at, Michelle?
I'm here, Kevin.
Okay, so what you got? What you want to tell her? To tell you to the people. Go. This is I owe you for today, man. Today is beautiful, man, and I thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Kevin. It was such an honor to bring all these amazing people here and have Carolyn do this session and everything, hear all the amazing songs. We had such a good turnout. And I learned some stuff too, Ashley, because I don't know if you noticed because you were speaking, but you mentioned some things that I don't mentor my students to do in the pitch letter. And one of them was especially being personal and about themselves. It's more being personal about you but less about being personal. And it's so cool to know that you want that you appreciate that. I love that so, so much about you. And I hope other powers that be that we pitch to appreciate that too. It was really beautiful. So Kevin, thank you. Just a wonderful organization and music. Everybody join.
Yes, and I want to just say to everybody that isn't a member, when just so you can get a little background, because I know we're you don't know a lot about why this was created, but just to know that I wasn't the person who is just normally reaching out to be in the music business. I was somebody who I feel was just given this ordained to be in this position, given this blessing. When I first got into the music industry, I was just working hard and busting my butt, and I lucked up and got an opportunity to meet a guy named Carl Washington while I was at a conference called Jack the Rapper, which actually happened in Atlanta, Georgia. And when he gave me the opportunity to work at A&M Records with him, my first project that I worked on was Rhythm Nation's, with Janet Jackson. At the time, she was on her way to go to Virgin Records, and so we didn't really have like the best artists. My first artist was actually an artist named Overweight Pooch. A big girl standing next to a refrigerator on her album cover, and I had to pitch that. I had to go out and get that record played, and I learned a lot because, and I asked my boss to this day, the guy who was my boss, I said, "Why did you give me that record?" He said, "Because I need to know that you're not waiting on the give." I said, "The give? What's the give?" He said, "Someone to give you something. I need to know that you want this in your heart and you're gonna fight. And if I give you a project that's the lesser project, you're gonna give me the same energy and fight that you would give me on a project you love." So that's a lesson to everybody in this room. If you really love something, it's not about when someone hands you or gives you. It ain't about giving you nothing. If we want this, it's all got to come from the heart. So when you look at the writing session and you see the fire in the middle of the writing sessions right here, that's what it burns in your heart. It's got to be something you want. Fire burns. It burns in your heart. It's something that you want. So it's like we as an organization, it comprised of the fact that I was once the victim, the teacher, and the executive. I was a victim of ignorance. Now, a victim of my ignorance, not knowing, not wanting to know, not pursuing the information, getting emotional all the time, getting in my feelings all the time, not understanding business, not understanding how things work. And so I had to go from being the victim to actually learning to be the teacher so I could learn how to fix what I was being victimized over or what I felt victimized over. Once I accomplished that goal, then I was able to become the executive. I was able to help other people with their deals. I was able to help other artists get their, find their way. I was able to help people get their opportunities. I was able to get a Grammy nominations. I was able to help people get plaques. I was able to sign artists. I was able to teach all over the country. I was able to get a 70% success ratio. I was able to work on various TV shows as a casting person because I learned all the things that it took to keep that fire burning. And the one thing that inspired Writing Sessions America was when I found my first mentor. His name was Ernie Singleton. I was very, very much making a whole lot of mistakes. I almost burned a lot of bridges. I don't blame the people because I didn't know and I was letting my feelings get in the way and I know I was messing up a lot. But he seen something in me, and how I found him was I was reading a magazine, and in the magazine it said, "I love to work with young executives." I'm like, "Where are you?" So I happened to be volunteering, working at a music conference like this one. And while I was volunteering at that conference, I played a record called Love Overboard by Gladys Knight because I was actually over the showcases and all like that. So I told my sound man, yeah. So I played the record several times. And upon playing that record, I was introduced to him for the first time, and it was after reading about him. And I got his number, I got to eat lunch with him and all like that. To push the story forward, he was at an event one time and somebody told him he's a knucklehead. He don't listen. He this, he that, he that. He said, "All I see is a kid who don't have direction." That's all I see. And so he basically said, I'm going to give you my name and you're going to be my son and I'm going to help you and I'm going to develop you. But I got one request from you. And I said, what's that? He said, if I give it to you, you got to give it to someone else. Writing Sessions America. Someone gave it to me. So I had to give it to somebody else because that's how you keep it going. You got to keep passing that baton. You can't hold on to information. You can't hold on to things because you're not growing the next situation because you don't live by just your accolades. You live by your legacy. And if your legacy is based on you building other people, then your legacy will be strong. And so I want my legacy to be strong. I don't chase money. I'm not worrying about money. I feel like you're the money. You build yourself to be the money. I always tell people it's the music, business. Music, all emotion, business, no emotion. Be very careful. When you're moving in this thing, you have to understand, as an artist, yes, you're a creative person. But when you first start out, you're not a creative person. You're an entrepreneur. That means you're in a for-profit business and you're learning how to maneuver in a for-profit business. And there is no such thing as a starving artist, because if your craft is great and you're great, then you will at some point build yourself to be great. So I just want to thank Michelle because I think she's great. And I thank, our speaker because she's great. And I thank all of you because you're great for taking on this task of being here and helping us share this experience. We're going to be getting ourselves ready for a showcase. And to all evolve, I don't know, in a minute, everybody's invited to go to the showcase if you want to in a few minutes. So is there any questions for me about writing sessions, anything? Anybody got a question? I know I got a lot of new people in here.
So there'll be another pitch session.
There won't be another one today. You have to actually, now we're moving into our conference. This is part of a conference. So the you and me, if you're a part of the conference, yes.
Yeah.
There will be.
Okay, cool. I joined.
Okay. Are you Keenan?
I'm Corey.
Corey. Okay, hey, Corey.
Yeah,
how you doing? Pleasure to meet you, Corey.
Yes, sir.
Pleasure to meet you. So yeah, we'll definitely, we'll talk offline.
Okay.
I got your number.
Yes.
Yeah, this was just a tease, right, Kevin? Now you got to join up.
Yep, you got to join up now.
Yeah.
You got to join up.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody else, any questions for me or Michelle? Anybody
Yeah, I'll
else?
take any questions if anybody has any. For sure.
Yes, anybody.
Bye, guys. I have to go.
Oh, we miss you. We appreciate you. And I'm going to get your information because I want to keep in touch.
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Bye. Good night.
All right.
Good night, guys.
Just
want to say
Hey,
Max. Thank you, Max.
Good night, Max. Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Kevin, thank you so much.
Oh man. No, thank you so much. It is a pleasure and an honor, definitely. Anybody else?
Michelle.
Yes, who's that?
It's Corey again.
Hey,
Okay.
Corey, a pleasure. I love your energy.
Well, thank you. I want to know what it was like to get that Emmy nomination and then the win. I mean, I have a Grammy nomination, but I ain't win nothing.
Yeah, but the Grammy nomination, that's awesome. That's huge. Congratulations.
It was blow away.
But hey, you kind of know the answer then if you had a nom and you didn't win, because I've been nominated 3 times. I've won twice. The one time I didn't win is a much more interesting story because, of course, as you know, when you win, you go screaming like a banshee and running down the aisle, and everybody takes your picture and everybody sees your dress or your whatever you're wearing, and you hold the Emmy and you get pictures, and it's all like, yeah, it's so exciting. But when you lose, you just sit there, right? It's awful. It's almost like you wish you weren't nominated, right? Because nobody ever sees your dress. Nobody takes your picture. If you can take your own selfie, but right? You get no statue to hold, and you just sit. And it's like, for me, it was one of the most quiet moments of my life. You know, just sitting there, no one looks at you, no one pats you on the back. It's kind of awful. So, but winning is kind of amazing. Yeah.
I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, winning is kind of amazing.
That picture in the back, and I'm like, man, she was ecstatic when she got that.
Yeah, of course, you know, but the interesting thing about it is it doesn't really help your career. So I think that's what's the most kind of, and I think it, not as a songwriter or a producer, no, nobody really cares. They kind of care about, yeah, so what did you do yesterday? And yeah, so what have you won today? And yeah, so what hit song do you have now? And yeah, that's, you know, that was nice, but it's really interesting. It's not sort of like when you get clout, like if you win an Academy Award and you're an actor and all of a sudden your cred gets bigger and your price tag gets bigger. That it doesn't,
Right.
it doesn't kind of happen.
So your
And,
phone wasn't ringing off the hook after the win, and
you know, not really. I mean, people were calling, you know, unfortunately there's a lot of non-supportive haters, and I believe there's enough work to go around, and that's what I mentor. There's enough awards and work for all of us. But I mean, you know, people congratulated me, of course, but nah, you know, people usually say that's a really nice painting. Is that your Emmy? I mean, yeah, that's the God's honest truth, everybody. You know, I'd say that we all have to keep just working and continuing. So, Corey, you know, it's like, and you have a Grammy nomination. That is such a cool thing. I think that's so great, right?
I mean, I would do it if I didn't get the nomination. And I
Of
would,
course, yeah, right. I don't even think of, I didn't even mention it when I talked about myself in the beginning. I didn't even remember to mention it. Yeah,
noticed.
yeah, which is like really sad, kind of, because I'm so proud of it. But
Right.
but yeah, it's like, I don't know, it's all about the music. Exactly what you're saying. It's all about the music, and it's all about today, and it's all about moving forward, and everybody, we all just have to keep moving forward. But I'm so proud of you to know we meet you, Corey. That's so cool.
Right. But don't, hey, Corey, you can't have all of them right now because she got to save her for tomorrow.
I'm done.
You can't have all of them. Can't get all of it today, Corey. We got to get saved some for tomorrow. We got a great tomorrow coming.
Come tomorrow, Corey. You know, it'll be fun.
All right, so everybody, we are moving. If you look in the link, we have a link for the showcase. Everybody's invited. And you go into the other Zoom. We're going to be starting the kickoff party in a few minutes. That'll be our last event for the evening. So please, everybody, go into the link and see if you can hit that. It'll take you directly to the other Zoom, and we can get ready to start the kickoff party over there. And I thank everybody. That concludes our Zoom over here.
Awesome. Thank you, Kevin. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome, you guys.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Night,
Thank you,
everyone.
Gypsy. Thank you so much, Gypsy. We didn't thank her. Thank you.
Oh yeah, everybody, give her unmute to Gypsy.
Yay.
Everybody, give Gypsy
Oh my
unmute.
God.
Hey,
Thank you so much, Gypsy.
Squad up.
Yay. Yay. Great job.
Good to see you, Michelle.
Thank you. Good night.
Hi, guys.
Good night. Thank you.